You're muted.
Can't hear you.
Let's try again. Hello,
Where's
everyone.
Sean? Sorry.
Welcome to
Yeah.
welcome to It's a Long Story, a campaign of 4 beautiful parties. First time I'm able to say that. 4 parties in a homebrew world existing at the same time. The homebrew world of Aerin. We are currently here with our lovely crew, the New Moon, in various different sort of spaces today. Some at work, some at a totally different state. So before we jump into tonight, first off, let's say hi to our players. New Moon, take a look at the camera, wave, and say hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yes. Oh, things are changing, and it's beautiful, and I love it. There we go. Cool. All right. So before we begin tonight, just a couple of announcements up top. This week will probably kind of be the last week I kind of mentioned this because it is actually quickly filling up. Yesterday, we had an awesome time introducing our brand new campaign called Tales of Aerin, The Isles, with our brand new Monday night crew. One of which was including our one of our players here, Jack. Jack played an amazing, super cool College of Spirits bard. We're very excited to have that continue to progress into craziness. So if you have not seen that, please check that out. It is currently kind of floating around our live section. I'm going to kind of move it to its own channel here after tonight. I'm just realizing now I forgot about that. But we are still in need of players. And I say this in a realm of that we might actually have a 5th player, like they're actually scheduled for next session. So we're still kind of working out details and things like that, but most likely we have a 5th player already. So Brandon, thank you for all that work for that layout stuff, but we're gonna have to change it for the following week. But yeah, so we're still in need for at least one more player. If anyone is interested in joining into that crazy ragtag group of island adventurers. But please, for anyone who is interested in been watching this channel for our Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday groups, please check out Monday. It was a blast to play, and we will continue to go through it. Usually every Monday. We're off next week, and then later on in December we have Christmas, which will be obviously not playing during that time. So, but yeah, so we have that. So I don't even know. Yeah, I'll put the link in the private chat, but. Also, just for anybody, if this is the first time watching, first off, hi. Secondly, we're putting in our video description below. If you're watching this from YouTube, there is a little space for you to be able to check out any of the games that we have running that we'll be talking about here in a second. Cool. So let me update that on the comments for our private chat. So yeah, Tales of Aerin, The Isles is officially underway. We are still looking for players for our Candela Obscura game. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Candela Obscura is a cosmic horror game designed by the friends at Darrington Press and Critical Role. They're in the midst of, I don't know if is it starting this Thursday? Does anybody know if the 3rd campaign is starting this Thursday? Anyways, they just finished up their second campaign. You think so? Okay. They're just finishing up their they finished up their second campaign, and they're kind of pushing to their 3rd. So if you want to see how it's like supposed to be played specifically, please check that out. But also a few of our friends motioning over here to this lovely couple over here joined us in our own version of the game. We have our homebrew setting that we call Shadows of the North Shore. Still very much in that Candela Obscura family, following the same sort of game system as far as like the dice and everything goes, which by the way is one of the easiest systems I've ever worked with. I loved it. Leaves a lot of room for some very high RP stuff. And we're still kind of including somewhat of the Candela Obscura like sort of design on the guild, so to speak, that faction. but with a step in a kind of more of a real world setting as we are moving into the year 1901 in North Shore, Massachusetts. A couple hundred years after some very specific events that happened in Salem and the surrounding parts. I hear people say all the time, well, it didn't actually happen in Salem. Yes, true. But you get what I'm saying, the idea. So really spooky, really cool, introspective, very like high RP, high stakes. You could very well die, fun stuff. So please check that out. We're in desperate need of players. We have 1.5. We're having some communication problems with the second one, but we are trying desperately to try to find players for that. So that is going to be most likely for our Thursday, but possibly Sunday too. So if either of those work for you, please check out the link that we're going to be putting in here in a second, and feel free to ask me any questions from our various social media link stuff or from Start Playing itself. Lastly, we have our our Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt, a drop-in, drop-out mini campaign we've been running since the beginning of October. We had a really cool, fun game on this past Sunday with 2 new players that I think really enjoyed it, and you could too. So drop in, drop out means that you can join for 1 session, you can join for 2, you can join for 5, but take a break in between, or join the whole time. You certainly can. It'll be open for Saturdays and Sundays. For those who are interested, Steinhardt's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt is a 5e supplement guide that is designed to be able to boost both you as a character and also your enemies into the realm of a gothic horror setting, very similar to like a Bloodborne or Dark Souls-esque design. Strong ties to that. We actually had 3 of our players here actually play in one of those campaigns. I'm gonna give it to Chris. Chris, last time you played, you want to give you like a player sort of vibe? What did you like about it?
Although it is a system designed around being overpowered and fighting, there is a lot of good RP going on in the environment due to the intrigue in the system. It's just an opportunity to be super creative. The new classes are really fun. I was playing a Circle of Symbiosis Druid, which you become this wooden behemoth as a wild shape. It's super fun. So yeah, it's just a cool vibe. Actually, I was the nerd who had to ask what's Bloodborne, so yeah. I don't even know that. So really good, okay. Good combat and good RP, just a good time.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Funny enough, our Sunday group, same thing. Both of them had never played Bloodborne or Dark Souls at all, which is awesome because I think they still had an awesome, really cool, fun time. We actually played the beginning of that session that you guys have actually played before. So what's known as the Remedy. So we were kind of running through that arc. Awesome, really fun time. Feel free to kind of check out details of it. The last thing I will say about it, if you are interested in playing, your first session with us is free. Free. That means you don't have to pay, which is awesome. So it's kind of like a good way to kind of just dip your feet into the TTRPG and DMing styles of me, as well as being able to kind of feel out if this is a game that would be fun for you to be able to play on a longer sort of format. We are probably going to be finishing up our sort of our dip into our Steinhardt stuff in December, because I want to kind of start to kind of roll out some other things that we have in the midst of doing some one-shot like stuff. Getting back into that realm. So if you would like to check that out, please do. And then lastly, if you have any interest in sticking around with us, checking out our social media stuff, I'm posting the link tree in our private chat as well, and that's in the video description. Also, if you like what you see and want to support us, subscribing on YouTube or Twitch would help us out a ton. Gets more people to be able to kind of watch what we're doing. And but honestly, we'd really just like to hear from you, and even just have you jump in for a game or two coming in. So please do that. All right, I think that is all of my notes. So before we dive into a very interesting and fun session for tonight, we're going to do a little recap of where we left off with New Moon. Chris, please take it away.
Sure. Last week we started off with Pixel Dan coming out of his headspace where he was possessed by Tal, finding out Alyssa is awake. They talked a bit, went on deck. Alyssa was just absolutely fascinated with being on the boat. She checked out everything, just acted like a kid. Bix went below deck. He started to write in his book to see if he could write some messages without Tal catching it. That didn't work, so Tal made Alyssa jump off the boat. Ianthe went in after her and Adim, and they were able to get her up, but not before Ianthe saw the pink eyes, got into her head, and heard a very scary voice in her head. After that, a little bit of shenanigans ensued while Titian used his cloak to practice his stealth and went on a few missions on the boat to practice getting sneakier. This was after he had spoke with his family. Ianthe and Aerin talked a little bit about the voice that she heard. Adim talked with Kofi after Kofi had been drinking, and Kofi offered to give the boat to Adim. And we left off is Aerin's raven brought her a ring, which when she put on, she in some way, whether mentally or spiritually, ended up in the Shadowfell, where she spoke with the Raven Queen on the way, forgetting a few things in her life. And then basically the Raven Queen wanted her to remove an intruder in the Shadowfell.
Yeah. And then say the last thing that we saw, I think from this was was kind of like a vision sort of image of a woman that is unfamiliar to the New Moon crew, but definitely not unfamiliar to Imea. We see a younger female, sort of like mid to late 20s, I would say. Hard to tell in the very monochromatic. I'm so sorry. That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Sorry, Brandon. The monochromatic sort of mirror that is there, and we see a vision of a blonde woman, mostly dressed in black, with a tressum laying across her lap, staring out from a mountaintop at the castle itself. So, as we are pulling ourselves in, we're going to say that we did a kind of a little bit of a timey-wimey stuff, as there was 4 days kind of on the journey. We were trying to figure out what you guys were doing during that time. So we're going to say that happened on the last full day. We'll say kind of like the last full night, right? I'll say it's about, at this time, I'd say it's probably about maybe about 8 p.m. to where we lose Aerin. As far as those that would be on the deck of the ship, I know Adim would be, because we just kind of broke off from a conversation. Do you think anyone else is on deck around that time?
I would probably be doing what Alyssa was doing, because I don't have anything else that was on my agenda.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I want to give her the wand yet.
Oh, right. Cool. Yeah, I think Alyssa is probably being the 5.5-year-old child, has been told when it's dark outside you come in, is probably indoors. Cool. We'll do this. Let's just go around and see where we are during this time, because and as we're doing this, Deem, go ahead and roll me a perception check, and we'll hold on to that number as we kind of go around. Where's Titian at this point? So last night, the next day, you're going to be on the shores of Celeste. You know that. How are you spending your last night on the Misty Maiden?
Is this post all of the sneaky stuff?
This is post all the sneaky
Or is this like the last night? Okay, so this is the night after he found all the stuff in E-Wolf's desk. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Titian is on the deck, just sort of like he knows we're close to Celeste, so he's just soaking in some prime like water watching time. I think like he's put in a good day of just like tying knots, and he's rewarding himself with just some downtime.
Okay.
Maybe just sort of watching some of the other people. Maybe looking for an opportunity to talk to E-Wolf if he has a chance with him alone in some ways, but you know.
Okay. Did you? I'm sorry. You said you were on deck.
Yes.
Okay, you got it. Cool. Go ahead and roll my perception check. Ianthe.
I would be on deck. Okay, you said it's about 8 o'clock. Is this the time of year where 8 o'clock means it's dark out?
Yes. Apologies. Yes. This is where we go into the idea.
Are we in daylight
what
savings or not?
What season is this?
What
no,
is
it
it? Daylight savings. Okay, I will say so mechanically my dagger does not need to be in the moonlight, but I think I just would have it in the moonlight to like admire it and like get it all soaked up.
Yeah,
Topped off.
absolutely. Yeah. So
I haven't done anything with it yet, so it doesn't need it, but I'm doing it anyway.
Okay. So you can be on deck for this, or you could be like kind of in your room, kind of like leaning out the window, sort of looking at it from the board.
I'd be on deck.
Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and roll me
Far
perception.
away from E-Wolf, steering clear of him, because he's driving me crazy.
Enough. Fair enough. I think E-Wolf is probably up in the crow's nest at this point. I do think, like, obviously there's been like passing sort of points where you guys have talked with him. I think E-Wolf has fully adopted the like sleep during the day, up at night sort of thing, to be able to kind of be of use to the party. Cool.
So I threw a natural 20 for my perception check.
Okay, cool. We'll handle that in a second. Awesome. Grian, where are you?
I'm trying not to murder this animal. Trying to make him look so cute.
Reasons why Grian is not a druid.
Right. 100%. He's probably just chilling. I know it sounds super vague, but it's like last night.
Where are you on the ship, though? You gotta
just probably like on deck, like hanging out. It's last night. Like,
okay, cool.
Well, last night,
kind of like
now, but
yeah. So you're on your hanging out, looking around, just like recognizing that you're not really sure what's going to happen after you touch down to Celeste, whether you're going to be on a different boat or not. This might be your last time on this boat.
I'd say too, like Green's never been to Celeste, so he's kind of like excited.
Yeah,
like he doesn't go on boats often, let alone to beachy towns. More of a forest kind of gal. But yeah. So that's an exciting time for him.
Cool. All right. For the record, you have like a full like 12 hours before you're gonna touch them, but I think that makes sense with Green just being like, okay, well I gotta go to sleep, but then it's gonna be a new place to wake up to.
And it's like Anthony's hometown too, so he like vaguely knows. And I know that she has a sister, but like we haven't talked about her too much, so know that she was doing something, but he doesn't know what. Yeah. Right.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, then I guess go ahead and roll me a perception check as well. So Bixenden, you're the only one. You and Alyssa are kind of like under below deck during this time. And actually, Kofi would be below deck as well, knowing that in the morning there's going to probably be a couple things that he's going to have to kind of take care of shipwise.
And depending on when she goes to sleep, I'll probably go back on deck after she falls asleep, but that may not be now. So.
Cool.
Perception check 23.
Jesus, guys. Okay. Give me a luck roll. Pixel Dan.
$15.
Yeah. Okay. So with a 15, I'm gonna say, well, 15 is beats it. So you see like she is. Let's play out this scene. So she is downstairs. She's kind of like laying in the hammock that she's kind of just claimed as her bed now, and she's kind of like all like bundled up at this point. Now you can choose to try to give her the wand now, but I'm going to say she looks like she's like kind of like looking at you, and you know if you're in conversation, you see her kind of like going like this, like.
It's probably best to wait till morning, anyways, because I'm afraid if she gets it, she's going to want to stay awake, and the more she stays awake, if she wants to play with her wand, the more chance she's going to blow up something. So I think the morning would be a better idea.
Totally true. Okay, cool. What are you? Are you like? As she's kind of like sitting, she's kind of like pulled up like this. So what are you guys talking about?
Well, I'm probably just listening because she's probably talking all about the day and everything she saw. And did you see this? And I did this, and I did that, and I did. I'd be like,
So yeah, so I think I could probably. I mean, we both did good. We both kind of like learned how to swim. I think I could probably like swim, maybe like 3 times around the ship, and then you could probably only swim like 1 time around the ship.
You're probably right.
And then like so you're pretty good at like going underwater. I'm still worried about keeping my head up, but when you're thinking about it, and she talks herself to sleep.
Okay, and then I will go quietly leave, and I'm kind of trying to give myself some space. So I'm not saying I'm standing around with people, but I wanted to be on deck.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. Great. So we'll go around and just ask for those perception checks. So I know. So left side. Let's do this in the order that we asked, just for fun. So Adine.
14.
14. Cool. Awesome. 14. You don't. I'll say you don't see Aerin, but you didn't see her leave with the 14. There's a good chance that you're not actively looking for her. With the 14, you just don't see Aerin on deck. And then I think from there we kind of just went around in order, if I recall. So Titian, you got a nat 20.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. We'll handle that in a second. Ianthe?
I got a 6.
Cool. Fantastic. Whatever happens, you just come up on deck like right after that happened.
Cool.
So it's like a portal opens and you're just kind of like you're just.
Where'd everybody go? Yeah. That's,
hey. Yeah. Grian.
I rolled a 23.
Okay, cool. You absolutely saw this. And Pixeldan.
10.
10. Cool. Awesome. You're right after Ianthe. So say like you're kind of waiting for Ianthe to kind of come up as she's poking her head out, and Pixeldan, you're just like kind of like just patiently waiting.
Bix, did you hear something? I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear a thing.
Cool.
Where's the water? I can't find the water.
Actually, so point of order, Ianthe, this doesn't need to be a thing here, but you've also you've been at sea for 4 days. There's a lot of things that you have to like climb up and down. Do you imagine that Ianthe is like this is the last day at sea to kind of notice this, but do you imagine like you're wearing like pants now, like sea pants or anything like that, or are you still like just like?
Yeah, I mean, climbing up and down, she probably would have picked up first day. Well, she's avoiding climbing up things because she doesn't like up. She doesn't like heights.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But she probably would have found like a pair of leggings or something, and like is wearing it under the dress.
Cool, you got it.
So it's heavily layered and is probably really hot. But it was like, I'm not taking this thing off, and I'm not giving anybody a free show.
What a great answer. No and yes is the No, I am not changing from my dress. Yes, I am wearing pants. So good. Great. Cool. So Pixel Day, just kind of like waiting your turn as Ianthe kind of comes up. But for everybody else, so this is for Titian, just Grian and Titian. Math is hard. Let's do this. Titian. You are on the opposite side of the stern of the ship from Aerin. Like you said, just kind of like looking down, looking that. But you're seeing Aerin, and like you guys have like kind of exchange glances, like talked a little bit. From Aerin's explanation from last session, Aerin, you grabbed the, you heard the caw of the raven. Raven comes in, flies in out of nowhere. Basically, it kind of like drops a ring in your hand. You put the ring on, and you just kind of go in. You don't say anything to anyone. So, Titian, you see, from your perspective, you see Aerin step through the ledge out to the open ocean and disappear. That's what you see. Grian, you see the same thing, but you're on the opposite side of the ship, so you're more towards the bow. So you, from your perspective, this is weird because I would say like with your nat 20, Titian, you're closer, but Grian, your perspective looks a little bit weirder because you see the same thing, but you actually physically see that Aerin does not go down. Aerin goes out, and like this sort of space right here just disappears, never falls down into the water.
I
Ready,
think
go.
Titian. Yeah. Titian. I think Titian will to tie it to last session. I think Titian was sort of like capturing a glimpse of Aerin at this right moment after like they had their talk about common siblings in a way. And as soon as he's like just looking at Aerin, I imagine Aaron's just like casually walking off, and Titian's like, "Oh, that's weird." And as soon as Aerin disappears, Titian like sprints, and I think you just hear just ho 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 ho, like, and it's just like he's kind of just like walking like this, like kind of like whoa 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 whoa, and I'm sure it's like an awkwardly long. I'm sure it's like 30 feet away, but he's going to do that the whole way across the ship. Or however long it is.
Cool.
And just sort of get to exactly where Aerin was.
Got it. Ianthe, Adim, you hear this. Grian, you see immediately after Titian kind of runs over to the other side, is like kind of like leaning against the railing, looking straight down. Grian, what are you doing?
I am running over as well. Probably grabbing some sort of loose object that is on the ship and casting light on it so I can see over the side.
Cool. Awesome. Now, from your perspective, right, so you it makes sense that you're looking at this as like, this is what I would do because of the reaction I'm seeing from Titian. However, Grian, you did see she didn't go down. She just disappeared. So following Titian's lead, you're like, well, maybe I missaw what I saw, and you're running over to the
and it's like oceans are dark and it's dark skies, like it's all just black out there.
Right, absolutely, yeah. To be 100% sure, you cast light and you don't see anything but the waves in Titian. Titian, roll me a No, you got a nat 20. Titian, you do know in the back of your mind something that's weird is that Aerin must have gone overboard, but you didn't hear a splash or anything.
Oh, he's about to hear a splash.
Yeah,
I mean,
say,
Adim, I don't know what's going on, and they're looking overboard, so I'm assuming someone went overboard. And God love Ianthe, but I'm better underwater right now, so I don't even ask. I just dive overboard, dive like I'm born in the water. Like, what's going on?
Love it. Awesome.
Can you describe like...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And why would we not be able to see the portal that Aaron's going through? Is it
Truly
it's
because
just,
because of where it's going and how it's designed. This is not a. This wouldn't be like a whoosh sort of thing to anyone else but Aerin.
I think as soon as the demon jumps into it, like Titian's gonna take a rope and throw it over the side. Once you get him, like I'll help haul him up. Like even though he didn't hear a splash, there's got to be like a. This is all I can do right now because I'm not. I
Absolutely, yeah. There's a level of like the simplest explanation is I missed something, right? So you throw the rope. Adim, you kind of splash into the water. Adim, it is very cold and chilly, which does not affect you at all. I kind of feel like it's the equivalent of like wearing a big jacket on a warm day. So it's like that level of uncomfortable, like for you, just obviously
not with my amulet. That amulet you gave me, no.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You don't feel any change at all. You dive right in, looking under the ship. Adim, no perception check required. We know above board what's happening, but you look around, you see like bits of like coastal rocks that are just kind of in view, maybe like 40 to 50 feet below you. You see that there is like off in the distance, you see a very interesting like heavy jawed sort of fish that has like eyes that like blip into lights that like immediately go dark as soon as you get into the water, and like kind of like you just happen to see them go out. But nothing of note other than that in of itself is Adim, I think you fully chalk this up to like the ocean is an amazing, beautiful place.
Right.
I don't think that thing is a danger.
No. So like when I pop up, I'm probably behind the ship because whatever fell in my mind isn't going the same speed as the ship. Right. So when I pop up, I call out, "Who am I looking for?" or what? Like I don't know.
You're looking for Aerin. You're looking for Aerin. They just like walked off. They just fucking walked off.
No one's under here, I promise. I'll check again though, and I dive back down.
Have you checked the whole ocean?
You don't hear that, Adim. You've already got under.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's probably like smacking Titian in the arm. Be like, I didn't hear a splash. They just kind of poof. But did you hear a splash? Oh, I didn't.
No, but I just thought they were just. Aaron's very aerodynamic. I figured that they just like. I don't know. Are you saying that they might not be in the water, Brienne?
No, I mean we're almost home now, so there's a lot more magic here. Do you think? I don't know. Can someone like look for any signs of magic in this spot or anything?
If I'm on deck, detect magic.
I think you and Ianthe have kind of run now to the railing trying to.
Because once I hear about somebody disappearing, I kind of go into pretty much freaking out mode. And then I'll just drop a detect magic.
Cool.
Yeah, I think if I hear that maybe someone went overboard, I'm gonna run up, and maybe I see a Adim splashing. I'm like, hey, he's got this covered. I've got this covered from land.
Cool.
Adim, do you need my help? I'll jump in if you need me. You need a second pair of eyes?
If I'm above water, I'm like, I think I'm okay, but I don't see anyone down here except for me and a few fish.
Do you want to come back up now?
Are you sure that they didn't fall in? Because I don't want to leave them underwater. They don't breathe water.
Did anybody find anything?
Titian is going to. Oh, shit, I don't know if this is working. Can Titian do ascending to try to find Aerin? Titian's going to do ascending to Aerin.
Ooh.
Okay. Cool.
Desperation.
They
just like put away the Excel sheet.
Let's roll first. Because there's a roll for this, right?
That was clever.
The only issue I can say is like if Aaron's not on the same plane of.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me a D100. and a D10.
Oh,
That's a D100.
Yeah.
So it's a D100. You said D10?
Mhm.
So the D100 is
really?
25.
Okay.
And D10?
Well, that's the. Sorry, that's what I'm. So the. I meant when I said D100, it is a D100 and D10. You're right. I over-explained. And also, I said that and immediately wanted to pull up the Steinhardt's Madness system. Check out Steinhardt, available during the weekends.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 25. What do you say?
I think Titian just says, Aerin, why'd you jump in the water? Are you safe? We're looking for you. Just hold tight.
splash real loud if you need us.
Okay. Cool.
Miss you. I don't know what else to say.
Miss you. Amazing. Cool. Anything else in this moment? Are you guys just kind of like waiting? Adim, obviously you don't find anything new.
Yeah, the only thing I'm doing extra is I turn the that sending stone on that's on my wrist, just to keep in contact with the three above, so that like I'm seeing this, I don't see anything. Aerin isn't here. There's a rock. Like I just stay under because they can talk to me that way.
Yeah. I love that. Cool. Adim, you're looking for something specific, but you're also spending a lot of time underwater trying to kind of figure this out, but also trying to stay with the ship. So you're moving, in a sort of a big sort of realm of something. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say you have a disadvantage on this roll.
Okay.
Just for funsies, roll me a sorry. Just for funsies, owning it. Roll me a roll me a perception check.
Disadvantage, you said?
Disadvantage, yep.
5.
Okay, cool. With a 5, you're maneuvering over, rocks, things like that kind of like go into the ocean floor. You see things kind of actually like kind of wriggle in the underneath the dirt, that you see like something much bigger is underneath, like waiting to kind of trap whatever fish is going around. You're easily able to kind of maneuver out of that, just from just being yourself. But yeah, you don't see any. You certainly don't see anything showing any sort of sign of Aerin.
And I communicate that there is nothing Aerin-like down here.
Right. Got it. Cool.
No.
Awesome. Okay, great. Well, we have Aerin here, so let's go ahead and shift over to what's happening on our other plane of existence. Actually, I'll do this one instead. Oopsie daisy. Sorry. Okay. Aerin. Where we left off with you were in a conversation with the Raven Queen. Did we just lose? There we go. You guys hear music?
Yes.
Okay, cool. In that conversation, I will say, in this very moment, you see the image of this woman as the Raven Queen pulls it away, and it's clear what she's. It's clear in a general sort of sense what she's asking for you, but I would say she's waiting for your response in this.
I may need allies for this. How would I bring them all back?
1 second. Something else. Sorry. Your
Reapers will not be able to work with you in this.
Not them. The others I've been traveling with.
At this moment, Aerin, Munin, who is on your shoulder, kind of like all of a sudden just flaps. You see her like kind of catch in midair, and seems to be listening in on a private conversation.
It's my understanding that they have a little girl in their presence.
A slight complication. I can speak to them about how we could handle this while handling what our current issue is.
Fine. Just know that she cannot be here, as it is unsafe for all, but especially you.
I understand.
I need this problem handled quickly. I will give you the details.
And she proceeds to talk to you about what they know. So the Fortress of Memories is located in an area, and I think there's a mix of probably like these are things that Aerin would know, but also some things are probably like the Raven Queen kind of explains to you now. The Fortress of Memories is kind of smack dab in the middle of the Shadowfell. To the south is an area that is known as the Dim Forest, or as she explains, commonly known to the locals as the Forest of the Dead Father. You see she kind of like has, it's hard to tell because she has that raven sort of mask to her, but you can even see from just like the bottom jaw, like a look of like slight disgust in saying that title. Given the information, most likely she is to the west of, she's west of the fortress in an area that is known as the Shadow Mountains. She explains to you that she can give you things that would allow your party to be to have kind of the upper hand on not having a stench or a any sort of signal of being something other than undead here. But it is not it is a disguise. It is not a, it will not, it will lower the danger threshold, but it won't completely take it away. As some things seem to be able to find ways to perceive past those disguises. There is a, go ahead and roll me a d4, please. You're muted, I believe.
1.
1? Cool. I wouldn't say that's necessarily good or bad. There is about an hour of conversation here. At this point, there are several beings that you see that kind of like move around in the lower platforms around her, seemingly wanting her attention. You can tell at this point that the Raven Queen is typically actually probably very busy. However, she figured that she's, for some reason, seems to make this out to be something important. Aerin, roll me an insight check, please.
Nine. Another nat 1. These digital dice hate me.
Okay. You should join Monday's group. Cool. With a 9, I'm going to say with a 9, you do notice, that this is, because I mentioned that before you rolled, you do notice that it does seem to be slightly odd that she takes so much precedence in this, but I'm going to say with a 9, you think it's more important to just respect her well wishes and not try to instigate any further in this, or respect her wishes, excuse me. Cool. Is there anything that you say to her, anything you want to talk to her about? Knowing, of course, that your time is limited here.
I definitely want to know how to get the party in and out. And if we can have any insights on who we're facing, like maybe what they specialize in or why they're such a threat.
Roll me a persuasion check.
8.
Okay. With an 8, she calmly explains to you that is none of your concern. As far as ideas of the power of this being, I imagine that it would be a fair fight, assuming the 6 against 1. But she says fair. She doesn't joke about that. She doesn't say anything past that. But yeah. Actually, what she would tell you is, like, in her own way, she would explain that anyone that is able to exist on that mountain for more than an hour must be pretty powerful.
Oh, okay. And then my other question was how to get our party in and out.
Yeah, she points to the ring on your finger.
Oh. Okay.
To be clear, if there is any failure in this regard, and you or one of your party survives, you know who will be hunting you. And I will have their back this time. Be clear.
On the condition that it's only me. If they choose to help me, I don't want them to be hunted for my failures.
Roll me one more persuasion check.
14. Oh, son of a bitch.
You bring anyone with you, they suffer your fate. You are not in a place to negotiate in this manner.
Understood.
But if you succeed, unlike others, I reward faithful servants.
Understood.
Consider that ring an advance on your reward.
And she dismisses you with a hand.
All right, now I'll just take the ring right off.
Okay. As you take the ring off, a portal kind of opens up behind you with the smoke and like kind of like misty sort of air. You notice what is past it as you hear Titian in your ears with that message. You know what's past is that other realm more than anything because you actually see color. And you've been here for an hour and you, even in this moment, almost feel like you kind of almost forgot what that looked like. Fleeting. And you pass through. For everybody else, you see Aerin pop out about a good solid, well, we'll say the span of time has to be a little bit longer. So we'll say about 4 seconds go by. And Aerin falls out onto the opposite side of the deck, closer to the bow. Same idea. You see her just kind of appear out of nowhere and just fall onto the deck.
Hi, is everything okay?
Oh, you're here!
Did someone fall off?
It was presumably you.
And I just give him a big hug. You're okay!
Soften into the hug.
Did you get my message?
I
It's
don't
okay.
think- Oh, I did?
It's like the second you went through.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, it's all cool. Like, you don't have to respond. It's fine. I just, I was worried about you, but it's not a big deal. It's okay. I'll be, it's fine.
Are you all right? What happened? Where did you go?
Well, I went to the Shadowfell for a moment.
Did someone signal to a Deem who is in the
Oh,
water,
yeah.
by the way? Someone should probably tell
I'm
the
still
DM,
underwater
like,
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send him a message. Great news, we found Aerin.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Great news, we found Aerin. They were never underwater, at least judging by the fact that they are not soaking wet. So, thanks for looking, but I think we're good. Do you want to come up and hear what I'm sure is a very interesting story?
I come back up.
And as soon as I hear about Shadowfell, after I see her appear, I freak out because I think she went where I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
But the second he says Shadowfell, I breathe a sigh of relief, which is very weird.
Okay. I'm gonna say no roll for Bixeldan. I'm gonna say I need. I'm gonna put it all into one. I need an insight check from Titian, Ianthe, and Grian, but not from Adim because Adim is kind of coming up at this point.
How about me?
No.
No. Oh.
Insight 14.
Way too. You're dealing with some massive amounts of like things rushing back to you. Memory wise, including just like seeing even though it's like dark out, like the absence of color and now coming back to it is just fucking with your brain.
Fair.
I got a dirty 20.
I got a 21.
Okay. Green.
14.
14. Yeah, both Titian and Ianthe clocks Bix breathing a sigh of relief. Specifically of relief. You're not really sure if that is connected or not. Maybe Bixeldan is looking at Aerin as a true friend, and that is the concern.
I am also relieved that they are okay.
I think seeing that, Titian will go over there and just like try to pat Bix on the back. Like he'll just like give him like a comforting pat on the back.
And I'm probably halfway spacing out right now, so I probably won't acknowledge it, but I won't fight it either.
Mm-hmm.
We were all concerned for Aerin for a second there. Like it's all good, man. Okay.
Yes.
We're just really happy they're back. It's all good. I'm just super happy that you two bonded over this last week.
So, what do I know what the Shadowfell is, or are we just? I don't know if I know.
Good question, gang. Say anybody who hears that, Nadim, you're kind of like up on deck too, so I'll say like you're kind of like joining into this conversation now at this point. Kofi does because there was some yelling and some screaming, so Kofi kind of like pokes his head up to the deck, sees truly in a moment where Ianthe kind of like throws their arms around Aerin and goes, "You're okay," and just immediately just like kind of like rolls his eyes and goes underneath. He's done. He cannot deal with another crazy new moon middle of the night yelling. It's 8:30, but you get the idea. Yeah. Loud noises. Yeah. So I think for everybody, roll me your choice, either a history or a religion check.
I reject both of them.
Dirty 20 on history.
Cool.
Ooh.
12 on history.
Sticking with this one today.
Dirty 20 on religion.
I got a
3.
16.
16.
On, I don't know. They're the same.
Yeah. I'll say if you roll a 10 or higher, you've heard the name Shadowfell. It's often referred to, I'd say, in like for like commoners, and I'll say this is for everybody who's rolled kind of between a 10 and a 15. For commoners, it's very much in the like scary bedtime story sort of lore that they would tell their children. Not entirely sure if it's real, although at this point you guys have seen many weirder things. Wouldn't be a total shock if it is real. For those that rolled a 20 and above, which I think is Grian and Bix, for Green, was it religion or history?
Religion.
Religion. Okay, and then Bix, I assume, is history. Yeah, actually, you told me. So two sort of different answers here. We'll do Bix first. Bix, what you know from the Shadowfell is it is one of the many realms that is outside of the material plane. Existing somewhere between the areas of Celestia and the Hells. You've seen the like grand like planar circle map before. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put it in the Discord during the 10-minute chat. But so you've seen like all these names. I think some of which you're probably like really familiar with. The Shadowfell is somewhat one of them. What you do know is that it is an entirely different world in a manner of speaking. Where there is lands that have there are cities isn't exactly the right term. There are civilizations there. There is massive amounts of wilderness in between. One of the big sort of important sort of standout things of the Shadowfell is that this is a place where emotions go to die. There are ties to severe losses of memory here, and ties to those that go there and come back often have bouts of extreme psychosis that manifest in several different ways. I'll say with your the Dirty 20, you remember a specific instance where someone has accidentally messed with a religious artifact that they didn't know too much about and got whisked away to the Shadowfell. Came back a month later and looked about the same for the most part, except a little bit gaunter, a little bit like truly like lost color in themselves, but talked in a much deeper and gravelier voice, as if they had, and we'll explain that they had spent 40 years there. Later on, that person, when he was like checked out and seemed to be physically fine, went home and murdered his entire family.
Fun.
So that's what you know about the Shadowfell on a like strict like scholarly understanding. Grian, you know some sort of version of the same thing. The only thing that you really kind of catch on that's slightly different is the Raven Queen herself, who is the one that claims the Shadowfell as hers. Point of order, this is where we kind of like shift from the basic sort of like I think I had to explain this, like the full like normal like sort of like D&D like Forgotten Realms sort of wiki from this, is that the Shadowfell is the idea of who owns the Shadowfell is something that actually is a point of contention. The past, from what you know, the past like several hundred years, most religious beings of like the various sort of clergy people that would be checking this stuff out would claim that Raven Queen owns the Shadowfell. Before then, before then, and even during this time, there are some arguments on the idea that the Raven Queen is the face of Shadowfell, but truly the one that does most of the work is known by many names, but essentially is called the God of Death. You've heard many sort of different versions of this, and actually, I'll say this: give me a luck roll, please.
An 18.
18. Awesome. Cool. Wow, 18. Fantastic. One of the names that you've heard was given once again from a person that had truly died. We'll say, like kind of like a freak physical accident at home, died, and at the steps of contention on where they were going to be going, they had assumed was sort of a scholarly like person. They assumed that they were going to be meeting the Raven Queen. They did not. They met someone much darker, much more ominous, who basically is described as someone who is a shroud of dark black smoke, with the face of a skull that stands, depending on the certain situations of where he was in, that stands either hundreds of feet tall or is about 10 feet tall. So in varying sort of degrees, and told the man that his name was Venisepa. The man then was given the gift of being able to return to the material plane, in response, mentioning their name to no one. When they gave this information, they dropped dead immediately. And that's what you guys know.
So you were in the Shadowfell, that really dangerous place. My parents used to know a guy. His name was Venisepa. I mean, everyone called him Jerry, but he died and then went there, came back, and dropped dead again. And you just came back like nothing happened.
Well, I mean, I I didn't really die to get there, so I guess that's the difference. I'm also, I mean, I told you, I worship the Raven Queen, so when she needs me, I do kind of get free passage in and out.
Aerin, I guess this should be given. You know of this being. I'll say you don't know him by the name Venesepa. You know him of the basically what has been known as the god of death, or otherwise known in a conversation between like Raven Queen and her like immediate followers as the Imposter. Venesepa is when if we look at the Raven Queen in a way of like looking at the person that kind of like basically judges and decides whether or not someone is going to Celestia or the Hells, truly in situations of like it's a question mark, like it's not a clear example of one or the other. Most souls have managed to be able to get to go to the Shadow Queen. Shadow Queen then kind of just judges and distinguishes where they go. However, you do know that she doesn't get all of the souls. There is in. I'm going to say this actually. Go ahead and roll me an insight check, please.
23.
Jesus. Cool. You are a devoted follower of the Raven Queen, so this becomes a little bit of a difficult thing for you to even probably admit to yourself. The Raven Queen seems to be someone who the emotions, albeit mostly negative, towards this being who's above board, we'll call Venesepa, is clearly that of hate and disdain, and wants nothing more but for this being to be gone and replaced with her. So in that regard, a lot of the things that you know of Venesepa, you're not entirely sure is true with that 23. Again, like, you're a devoted follower. It would make sense for you to be like, it must be true. But there's a little piece of your heart that thinks that you don't have all the information.
Okay. Yeah, I was there when I got stabbed that last time, and I guess she needed to have a talk again, so I just took a quick stop. How long was I gone?
About 4 seconds, game.
Yeah. Not long, maybe like 5-10 minutes.
Way sooner than that. Or are you purposely lying?
Well, I mean, they disappeared, and we had to go like run over there and look, and then they weren't there. Right. That's like 5 minutes.
The DM is telling you about 4 seconds.
I failed the perception check, so I don't know how long Aerin was gone.
Sure.
You were gone at least 45 minutes.
It felt like it.
Days.
I was gone a little over an hour, I think.
But why? She just summons you whenever she wants? I mean, that's not particularly respectful of your time.
It's a fair trade for the powers she gives me. On that note, I do have a charge from her, and I will have to answer that request.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I did miss one thing. Roll me a... roll me a d20.
Aerin?
Yes, sorry, Aerin. Apologies.
7.
Okay, 7. Cool. You guys have 24 hours before you start this journey. She is giving you time to be able to explain to them and get ready.
Ooh.
I know we're close to land, so I figured we'd dock first. It is potentially a dangerous journey, so I want to make sure that we all at least get safe to land before I go. But
As opposed to the other journeys that we've been on lately.
fair.
Is it?
Did she explain to me who it was that I was hunting, or just that image?
Just that image.
Okay.
Yeah, and just said because they were most likely on the Shadow Mountains, which I will say above board, she's definitely on the Shadow Mountains. The fact that she has survived this long in what is assumed to be just a human. There's a human form, so assumed to be just a human. Is she said is surprising. You would deem it as miraculous.
Okay.
Can I clarify just what Adim knows? Because I'm hearing everything, but I want to make sure what Adim gets.
Yeah.
I'm being asked to go to a place called the Shadowfell. It's dangerous.
I haven't asked you yet, but
yeah, that's what I was
they're talking about the Shadowfell. It's dangerous, but that's all I got.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that I don't know anything else.
Right, because you rolled a 10, so you have heard the name Shadowfell, like in the similar, like sort of like childhood bedtime story sort of like thing. Like it's like a,
yeah, I feel like it's one of those like that's real. It's not a ghost story.
I just didn't want to put anything else into my head if I didn't know it. So thank you.
Yeah.
But essentially, there is someone that has encroached on her land that needs to be seen out, and I have 24 hours before I can begin this journey. I want to offer the opportunity to you guys, but I also want to say that this is not a request or a demand, because if we fail, whoever comes with me on this will be equally hunted by the queen herself. And I don't want to put that on you.
I'm going to say that, so I'm going to ask above board. Aerin, are you mentioning anything else as far as the idea of why they have to do this? You can tell me no.
I don't know why they would have to.
They wouldn't have to. You do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, I need to do this. I'm offering you to come. But
all you're saying is I need to do this, right? So there's so what I'm saying above board is you're not giving any sort of like intention of like what happens if everyone says no and like you go and fail, or if everyone says no and like tries to convince you of like why would you even go? Just don't go. Do you want to explain what could happen if you were to not go? You don't have to. Like what I'm saying is like
I was gonna.
Yeah. Like kind of like going into Adim's point of like, well, why would we do that? Why was like, you know, like yeah, so do you think you kind of like leave it there? It makes sense that you would leave it there. I'm just making sure as a DM.
Like if they pressed, I was gonna. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, then we'll let that RP.
But yeah, so I wouldn't want to ask this of any of you because it's a dangerous place and a dangerous mission, and we would have to find a place within 24 hours to at least keep Alyssa until we're back. But I will have to go, and I would be honored if you join me, but I do not want you guys to take that risk.
You've risked a lot for us. You've saved me on numerous occasions. If you need my help, All you have to do is ask, and I'm there with you.
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about Alyssa. And I'm not going to be comfortable going if I don't know she's safe.
Agreed.
I know somewhere where we can put her, and she'll be safe. I don't know about the other person.
Is there a reason why, like, you have to do it? I mean, Jerry's probably there too. She could probably ask him or something. I just like does she have a bunch of people there that like or that follow her and stuff? Like, why?
Aerin, roll me.
Stuff. I'm just asking because it's one more thing to do, and so just cutting our list
Aerin,
here.
roll me a history check, DC 10.
Wow, I actually rolled good on this one. Dirty 20.
Cool, awesome. You know of the Jerry that he's referring to. I'm gonna say this above board. Jerry is in the Shadowfell, but is not in the ability to be able to help in any regard at all.
It's the powers that I have and the way that I can help are because of what she gives me, so I have no choice but to help when help is needed.
I will admit that I don't get this whole god magic thing, but in my experience, people like me go to priests for help from a god. It's not too common for a god to go to their priest and ask for help from mortals. What can we do to find that person that she can't?
Oh, good question.
It's a complicated plane. And as much as I would love to answer that, I am not in the position to ask that question myself.
Who exactly are we looking for?
It was a woman with long blonde hair. She had a creature with her. What are those? Tressum with her. I'd never seen her before, but
DM, would Tressum have been in the journal?
She's a wizard, man. Okay, you have to roll me a luck roll. You have to contest mine.
$18.
I rolled a 15. Yes, absolutely. That does ring a bell. I'm going to say there's no way you know for sure.
I know.
She definitely hasn't said, I'm blonde. I
know.
At any point, right? But Tressum does Tressums are rare. They're highly magical creatures that typically don't bond with any living thing on a material plane. So the fact that she is bonded with one, and you're hearing of that, it rings a bell for sure.
But it's no more than coincidence to me at this point.
Could be, yeah, could be. I think it's something to reference. Did you say at one point that you memorized the?
When I did the investigation on it, I rolled a nat 20, and you told me that I memorized the entire journal.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd say given the information. I mean, you rolled above mine. Given that information, Bixodane, it is an interesting coincidence that you might want to push.
And that's fair. That's a fair answer.
Well, I'm saying you might want to push for more. Like, there's no what are the chances that we find like a being? First off, so things that you are putting together, a being that has managed to exist in the Shadowfell, even though they shouldn't. Has a Tressum, matching with a being that has a walking house that moves around with them and clearly is very powerful and also has a Tressum.
Why are they in the Shadowfell?
I was informed that was not my business.
So we just have to go, like, serve an eviction notice, and then...
Right, like, do we
That's
have to kill the woman? Like, are we just dragging her out by the hair? And
Or even just telling her, like, hey,
Yeah.
you've overstayed your welcome, it's time to leave.
We could do that too.
We can.
To be clear, by any means necessary would be the thing that was used.
Right.
Yeah.
I find it
Generally,
odd that Raven couldn't do it herself.
I'm sure we can at least try to send them back to where they came from. But there is always a risk of a fight and an unfortunate outcome in that regard.
You can't kill our Guarl hunt us.
Pixel Dan, roll me another history check.
I'm going to use my flash of genius and make it a 21.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't think my brain's working, Joe.
You hear that in your head.
Oh, I was like, what's up?
Did you say, is it were or we're?
We're.
Oh. I will turn around and take a look. I hear that?
Mm-hmm. In your head. You know what it's from.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Well...
Hey man, you flash a genius this.
I know. Dang it. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm happy to help. I think it's a great opportunity to learn. I mean, what I could learn there, I could apply, and I think would be great. It's just I'm concerned for Alyssa, but apparently Ianthe is comfortable with someone or someplace that we could take her, and you seem to have good judgment, so I'll trust your judgment on this.
Can I just ask? Just because I know Tishian was literally there with his hand on Bixeldan's shoulder, like, is Bixeldan acting weird right now?
Insight check.
Weirder than usual, at least.
Bixeldan, deception check.
Ooh!
This isn't going to be good.
Ooh!
You will have to beat a 22.
16.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Chris.
30.
No, it's not.
Got it.
Biscuits.
It's a what?
30.
30?
You just rolled a 30 deception check?
Yep.
What?
Okay.
So,
Kind of
Tishian,
sorcery.
you like, there's probably like a second where
what
you're
I
like,
agree.
huh, that was weird. And then you just have this feeling that he just seems to be maybe like a little over emotional. Like maybe he had something to drink or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that on top of the fact that Tishian's been like, Tishian rolled a 3 on, like, you know, did he know what the Shadowlands were or whatever? So he's just been this whole time thinking about shadows. And just sort of picturing, like, how the fuck can it be shadows and shadows be land?
Fusion's over here making shadow puppets.
Are we our shadows or are shadows not us?
I also like. I don't know if this was Tishian or Matt Matt, but it's Shadowfell. I never mentioned Shadowlands.
Sorry, Shadowlands.
Shadowlands are
No,
the
I feel like that's also that could totally be a Tishian thing of like, so we're going to the Shadowlands.
Yeah. Yeah. No, damn. All right. Tishon will just sort of log that in. I think he's just like paying attention to everything going on right now. I think just hearing Bix talk a lot more. I feel like he thought he saw something, but he's like, no, I didn't see anything. That's just Bix, man.
Yeah, it's not like you like. For the record, I'm gonna say it's not like you thought it was odd, right?
Yeah.
Enough to like in character do an insight check. And then what you got from that was he just seems emotional.
This is really just like passionate about shadows. Maybe
Yeah.
Shadows at some point in the future. He can probably tell me more.
I get very excited about extraplanar things.
Tishon, like kind of like Tishon, you're like touching your cloak and you're like, should I just have let him keep this? Like,
Am I worthy of the shadow cloak? Maybe he is the real shadow master and I am just a shadow. I'm just a shadow mentee and you give me my shadow mentor.
Everyone,
You're the shadow puppet.
There's a whole scene of conversation that's going on while Tishon is lost in thought in this.
She has no clue what's going on. Like I truly don't think he knows. I think that bad history check just like led him down a bad string of ADHD thought, and that's where he's at now.
Tishon just zones out as he's doom scrolling his own brain.
Yeah. I'm taking 10 psychic damage right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
cool.
I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead, please.
I say so. I mean, if you were only gone for like a few seconds, but you thought you were gone for like an hour, so if time moves a little differently there, then it doesn't really put us off like our path here. So it might. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Bixelden, you are aware of that time dilation.
Okay.
Now that was only one resource. There's been significantly small amount of resources. I would say like with your role, this doesn't help your thoughts on this of like knowing that you're going.
Yeah.
But you know that after that, there's been many like wizarding investigating party that have been like, we need to find out more. We need to go to, and they've never been heard from again.
Amazing. How do we get there?
This.
Okay, rings have a bad. I'm not saying this. This is in my head. Rings have a bad taste in my mouth right now. So, can I see it?
Absolutely.
Does it like get bigger or something, or do we all take turns wearing it?
I assume we just have to like hold hands when someone puts the ring on.
I'm assuming
Hold
because
hands
my
and
detect
breathe.
magic would still be going right now because
Sure.
it hasn't been that long. This thing's probably like glowing as bright as the sun.
Please hold. Okay. I'm going to ask you this. Obviously, as players above, we know what's going on with Bix. So, Bix, I want you to describe to me what the feeling you get when you are, when the thing that is connected to you seems to be responding, like even in like a grumbling sort of like, do you feel it in your stomach? Do you feel it in your head? Do you like,
I probably get into
headache?
I think it echoes in my head, and I probably start a flop sweat when it starts too, if
Cool.
I can't if it can't be controlled.
Cool. Yeah, I would say like it's controlled for now in terms of like he would be aware of like any sort of like excessive sort of emotion towards something is not going to be useful in the long run. But yeah, you definitely have a flop sweat as soon as you touch this thing. But yeah, looking at it looking at it from your like character's perspective, you're not entirely sure how it works. It is extremely magical, and you know that it works as some sort of way to be able to dive into.
So it's conjuration magic then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to practice impulse control and hand it back.
You got it.
I think we should settle into port first. Question, DM. Was that 24 hours this playing?
Yes, 24 hours.
Okay. I'm like, because we already lost.
Have 100 years.
Yeah, so that's the and that's truly why you're given that time, because it's it's something that well, I mean, time does work differently there. I think what is happening here is that trying to think of how to explain it. Okay. So what is going to be happening here is that there's been basically kind of like a hold that has been like held in Shadowfell in this very moment as you left, as if the entire sort of like we'll say miles upon miles has been put on a time stop for anything that is not involving the castle itself, which includes above board, which includes the Mongoose crew, because we're not meeting this week. So.
I'm waiting for that fight.
What, us going at it?
Yeah.
Level 7 versus level 12. Let's go.
Yeah. Say for those that are watching at home that are not watching both this campaign and the Wednesday campaign, you're both looking for the same person.
For very different reasons.
Yes, very different reasons.
I'm scared of war.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
So are there any other? Yeah. So Brandon, is there any other questions or for?
I mean, if we're leaving the girl, are we taking the dog?
Oh, I'm sure he'll be an asset to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we? Sorry, that's sorry. I was jumping. Is that okay, Green? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'm fine taking him. I just need to know what we're doing.
Do you think we should get some, like, as soon as we hit the shore? You said we got 24 hours, Aerin, correct?
Yes.
Maybe we should, like, go get some food and stuff when we get on shore and, like, stock up on some supplies.
I mean, that was kind of our plan to begin with, was to stop off at Celeste and grab food and supplies and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. But now we kind of got to buy stuff particular for the shadow place. So yeah.
I guess it's a good thing that we found that chest full of money, so we got a little bit extra spending cash. Yeah. So,
I mean, I want to be very clear. Celeste is not like a big city. It's not like we can just go to a market and buy thousands of gold worth of food. I mean, what they have is going to be limited.
But can we get travel rations?
Maybe.
Anthony, you're aware of one store on Celeste.
Maybe. There's one store, and it's sort of, your groceries are what they have.
Well, Aerin's made food for us in the past on the boat.
Is there like a diner or maybe a nice restaurant that we can order from? Maybe a cart full of food, like a food cart, that we can just get like a shit ton of food from them. Best.
There's a bar.
Yeah. There's a bar.
Alcohol works too. It's just bread in a different way.
it's actually just a metal bar that stretches between both
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new moon walks into a bar.
Anthony, you are very, very, like, actually, I guess we should probably just handle this up front. So, Anthony, you're aware of, there is, not even aware, there's one, you grew up here. There's one store on the island. It's called He Shells.
He shall.
Seashells?
He shells seashells on the seashore.
He shells. Yeah, he shells. It is a very odd store that is owned by a man that refers to himself as He Shells. Very odd dude. We'll just kind of like keep it there for now. You're obviously Mistelia's is the tavern that you're referencing. Mistelia's does sell food as well. And most likely be the best place for you to stay, or you can stay with your mom.
Yeah.
All right, then should we get some shut eye and wake up there then?
Sounds like a plan. Thank you, guys.
Let's do this.
All right, it's cool.
Can I go find Alyssa real quick?
Yes,
She's
you can.
asleep. Yep.
You asleep?
Mhm.
She is asleep. Yep.
Okay, then I'll talk to her later.
Okay, you got it. Cool. So as you guys go to sleep, and I will say, to be able to kind of like simplify stuff, Ewolf kind of heard bits and pieces of this. He was just kind of up above, like kind of like staring at everything. He's been very careful to not get in Ianthe's way on anything, and has heard Ianthe sort of like yelling and all that stuff. So it's just being very careful, but is listening. Probably heard Shadowfell, and that's it. So the next morning, you guys wake up to the sound of, well, varying degrees. I fully assume that you're up, but you all hear eventually Kofi calling out "Land Ho" as you all awaken.
I think Ianthe runs up pretty quickly. I don't think she slept very well. Out of like excitement and also fear, nervousness.
You got it.
Adim's just busy trying to get the ship in dock.
Yeah. As you guys kind of come out to come out above deck, you look out and you see in the distance there is this very nice, pristine white sand beach. You can see there are little like kind of like huts that are around about maybe 50 yards away from the beach itself. You can kind of see them off in the distance. It's a bright, beautiful, sunshiny day. The masts are starting to kind of like be the like leftover sort of like the mainsail, I will say, is kind of probably pulled and tied off as you guys are approaching towards the dock. Ianthe, you didn't sleep very well. What time do you think you woke up?
Is there a window in my room?
There is a small porthole window. So yeah, I say we could probably like kind of catch you kind of like just looking out the window at the scene above you.
She probably like got up maybe a little bit before, like the sky is just starting to turn gray at sunrise, so like maybe a little bit before sunrise.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, you see, as you hear, I'll say we kind of hear Land Ho as you were already awakened and looking out in that porthole, and you're kind of looking at your home in a sense of like calm and easiness, but then also maybe some nervousness as well. And what is Ianthe feeling actually right now?
So first of all, I don't think she's ever seen Celeste from this angle because she doesn't really travel on ships. So she's taking that in of like, oh wow, like it feels good to be home, and I've never seen it like this before.
It's extremely beautiful, extremely welcoming as someone who's been at sea for a little under a week. You find a brand new way to love this town, village.
Yeah, I think there's that kind of that feeling of like, because so much has happened since she left, and she's very, very changed since she left. So it's like that. This is really comfortable, but it's also uncomfortable because I don't know if I fit in here anymore.
Right on cue, you hear that. That's amazing. I was literally just about to say, right on cue, you hear the door open as Alyssa comes walking in. You hear an immediate bark, and then, the ears kind of like pull back, and you see like he kind of like moves down. I was just coming, and you see her just like come in. She doesn't look at you. She doesn't greet you or anything. She just comes in and just plops herself into the fur of Danzig. Danzig has happened to have just kind of accepted this in a way of like a big dog and a child. You know what I mean? Like just like, I guess this is my life now. As you see her like kind of like just kind of jumping up and then just happens to notice you. And is like, what are you looking at? Like got it. She's on the head and she's like holding the ears.
This is where I grew up. This is where I've lived most of my life.
Oh.
I haven't been back in a long time, so I wanted to see us come in. You're up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
I've never been. I've seen the water and I've seen the town that I've grown up, and that's it. So I'm very excited. Can you see it from there? And you see her kind of like step with a foot onto Danzig's nose. You hear like as you see her kind of like clamber up and like it's like.
I want to make eye contact with Danzig and be like, "You're doing great. Just hang in there." Squish. What do you think?
You see, what's all that? Those houses look weird.
Yes. Well, being close to the beach, they sort of have to stand up against the wind and the sand. Sometimes when storms come, the sand and the waves crash, and they have to stand up to that or be rebuilt.
Oh, okay. I'm so excited. So much that I'm going to be learning.
It's not the stormy time of year. There's nothing to be scared of.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. Man, I'm looking for this in case it comes up. This would be in there. Do you happen to remember? Apologize for ruining the.
Oh God, it might be in my notes, which I don't have.
I mean, I have Sabella. I was going to ask about the priest.
Yeah, that's in my Ianthe or my Daphne notes, which are also in Ohio.
Okay, gotcha.
So no, off the top of my head, I do not know.
Man, I do feel like it was like a super simple, like it was like a simplistic name. I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember that, but for some reason I don't have it.
I have no idea. I don't know. Unearth Arcanum, help us out.
Really? Yeah. Gang.
I don't know my notes.
Or Joe's going to give him one of his world famous names.
Yeah. There's.
Well,
I mean, there's a couple things. I'm right there, so I must just never put it down. Could you sent it to me? Is that a possibility?
I didn't write it in the priest.
You didn't? Okay.
I did not. You did that. That's all you.
Okay. That was me. All right. All right. Let's see. There's something that we'll say...
The one with or without the head?
The one without.
The one...
Okay,
Did you know?
Without.
Did you know?
Are we getting an answer? What am I missing here?
Evan's helping us out.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
Evan, help.
Help. While we're here, Alyssa.
We'll say unless it comes to us, we'll just say Father Maurice.
Sure. Yeah. We'll go with that. I'm going to introduce you to someone very important to me while we're here. There's a chance that you're going to be staying with her for a period of time.
Is she nice?
She's very nice. She's very nice. She's my mother.
Oh, so she's blue.
You'll have to see for yourself what she looks like.
All right.
Listen to me. It's very important to me that you be careful while you're here. Can you do that? Can you try to keep yourself in check?
She puts a hand up and then boops you on the nose.
What was that?
Oh, I just sorry, that's what I used to do. That's what my sister used to do with me. Sorry. Yes, I get it. That's it.
Okay.
Never mind.
Hey.
Okay, all right.
All right.
What's his name again?
The city? Or the town?
Points to
Danzig.
Okay, and then what's this one?
Also Danzig.
Okay, and then what's this one?
Still Danzig.
Okay. And just kind of like lays in and just like I think like
those are their names now, by the way. Danzig, also Danzig, and still Danzig.
And still Danzig, love it. Yeah, you see, she just like kind of like is. Their necks have to be long enough to be able to kind of like separate themselves from the space that they're like currently in, right? So they're like, or sorry, they need to be long enough so that they can kind of look in different directions, right? So she's actually just like kind of like. She is not being very gentle at all as she's trying to like find a space for her to like climb up onto the neck and like ride Danzig. But yeah, you see Danzig is just like, you know, old dog, just like, you know, trying to just be like, can you get her off me, please?
Can I do a general vibe check of how Celeste might react to Danzig? Like, can I think back and like, just how I know these people are? Do I need to disguise him?
That's a great question. Give me an insight check with advantage. By the way, we're hearing a little echo, gang, from someone.
Oh,
Does
no.
the name Percival ring a bell?
No, Percival's somebody different. Percival is the lawyer that Daphne's lawyer friend. That I do know. Insight, I believe, is a whopping 12.
12. Cool. Did I say you have advantage?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
you did.
Cool. So you rolled with advantage. All right, great.
Yeah, I did. Still terrible.
Okay. All right. I rolled lower than you, so here's what you can assume. Danzig is going to be terrifying to anyone.
Sure.
In pretty much anywhere except for maybe the Shadowfell, and like certain places that are just as dangerous. But you check one thing here. No, Stefan, it might actually be you guys. Hold on. Check. Yeah, it is you guys. That's fine. I know it's tricky over there. But yeah. You know that there's a strong part of you that actually recognizes that this town itself is small. You're from there, and your sister's from there. And you've made somewhat of a name of yourself among the locals. Not in like any like sort of particular, like you're not like the hero of the town or anything like that. But people trust you. So there's a part of what you do know, even with a 12, is that there's a good chance that anyone you tell, I know he's scary, but he's harmless to you. Anyone that you lie to, essentially, would believe you. This is your town, and it's very small.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. If I don't have to waste the energy, I'm not gonna.
Got it. And with that, for everybody who is on deck and otherwise, you see Kofi and Adim manage to both loosen the anchor, drop the anchor down, tie the like sort of a rope off to the dock. Jumps out, and they're both on the dock, and they're looking up at you, and you see Kofi goes, "Okay, well, might as well get going." And you guys are now on the shores of Celeste. And with that, we're going to take this moment to take our 10-minute break. So we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. All right, and we are back. As you guys touch down on the shore, I would like a perception check from everyone.
Can I have advantage because I know this place?
Actually, honestly, you're not even going to need to roll.
Oh,
12.
I mean, yeah.
I gotta
I don't think
try.
you need a roll. Sure, try. See, we'll say this is a roll to see if there's anything new since you left.
Got a 12.
13.
Cool.
15.
9.
9.
Dirty 20 for me.
21.
Nice. Green, what'd you get? I have no idea what this means.
Oh, no, you said 9, and that just made me think of that one too. Like 9, 9, 9.
Oh,
Anyways,
gotcha.
no, I got a 12.
A 12. Okay, cool. Awesome. We lost Matt.
Sorry.
Sweet.
Just because I know that scene, and it's like so random that you just like brought it up.
Yes, absolutely. Cool. So with everyone who rolled above a 10, which I think is well, actually, sorry, no, one of you rolled Aerin rolled a 9. So Aerin, yeah, I mean, you didn't sleep well last night for sure. Like, you know, there's your life is once again on the line in a more extreme recent way than it always is. We'll say. But yeah, so I think for everybody else, like you're just kind of a little preoccupied. For everybody else who rolled a 10 or higher, Celeste is a first thing you notice is Celeste is just honestly beautiful. You get a sense of like time slows down here, not in a creepy way like the Shadowfell in particular, but in a way of like everything's on island time, so to speak. So, you know, you hear kind of the gentle sort of waves, kind of like hitting the shores here, and it just kind of gives this like sort of like kind of like lulling sort of vibe. Not necessarily putting you to sleep, but really kind of like giving you the sense of like, say even with a 10, you get this feeling of like nothing happens here. And for people like us, that's great. As you step off, you see Kofi immediately just goes like, okay, I'll talk to the docking master and figure out all that stuff, and I'll catch up with you guys at some point.
Let us know if we'll cover any costs.
Anthony, roll an insight check.
Oh, jeez. This dice is rolling great today. I know my insight is +4, so 22.
22. With a 22, I guess this wouldn't be insight, but it's fine. You must have rolled high, anyways. You're aware as soon as you say those words. There's a good possibility that there's no docking fee here. I think what you remember is one day where you happen to be around where the docking master has, which I know there's a name for, but I cannot think of it right now, has charged people to dock here, and times when they haven't. And the only thing that you've noticed as far as difference is really like the size of the ship. But it almost seems like it's like, if it's crowded, yes. If it's not, no. And right now you're the only ship that's here.
Okay.
So yeah, but you see Kofi goes, absolutely. Kofi doesn't know. So Kofi just, yeah. Fine. And you see him kind of like walk off. So as he does so, for everybody else that rolled, let's see, did anybody roll above a 50? Actually, sorry, both Tishin and Ianthe did. Anybody else roll above a 15?
I rolled a 15.
You rolled a 15. Okay, cool. So say with a 15 and higher, you guys notice that there is also the buildings are pretty far off from the shore. in a way that seems to be kind of on purpose, like the idea of like maybe if there was like an extremely high tide or something that kind of comes in, it's trying to be a little bit more like careful of those types of things. But as you will kind of carry this as you guys kind of venture further, inland on the beach, you notice that there is a weird sort of like spacing of stones that at first have this kind of like almost Stonehenge sort of looking thing, until you notice that there are also stone pews that are set up. It looks to be some sort of like outside. It gives kind of a religious vibe to it, like it's in like an outside sort of type of church. Titian, you notice that there's no specific markings that seem to represent any sort of type of religion that you're aware of. But that's kind of the first thing that you guys pass as you move further into town. As you go in, you see kind of like a hustle bustle on the main street, and we'll kind of handle that here in a second. But you also see off kind of closest to the sort of wooded area here. You also notice there's no gates here. Like there's nothing that is representing like city limits at all. You imagine the city limits are the trees, and because this place is kind of surrounded by a forest sort of area. But that's it. So just water and trees. That's its gates. You also notice that there doesn't seem to be any guards of any sort around here at all. You see a lot of smiling faces. I will handle the specifics in a minute, but you definitely notice that there's a lot of people that are whispering to themselves, and if Ianthe gets close enough, just starts to greet Ianthe and comes right up and starts talking to them. Very excited to see them back. Sorry, I think I went off a little bit on the store that you see. You see there's a very like giant, I think it's the shell that's on the dial commercials, and I almost want to say it's actually called a dial shell, but it might not be, if anyone else knows what it is. But it's that sort of like that like kind of like half crescent sort of shell that is an actual shell. It looks like it's a giant sort of shell on the front of this store, which does like every building around here has like some sort of variation of looking like a hut, except for a couple of buildings that we'll talk about here in a second. But as you guys move further inland, yeah, you have Ianthe. You have there's a young black woman that approaches you. She has like dreads that kind of like come around to the side and kind of come down to the side of her face. You see she's kind of like holding a basket, like a wicker basket, and you see there's a couple of children that are kind of like around, underfoot essentially, a boy and a girl, whom you haven't seen for a time, since she's been carrying them. I'm going to put you on the spot, as a lot of the NPCs you're going to be meeting are just kind of like variations of just natural citizens. What's her name?
Sure. What's her name?
Yeah.
Trying to think. Artemis.
Artemis.
Do I have somebody named Artemis already?
We do not. Yeah, so you see Artemis kind of comes up to you and goes, well, I'll be. Ianthe Berethna greets us with her presence.
It's been a moment. Oh my gosh, they've grown so much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, these two. Yeah, I guess it's since the last time you've seen them, probably haven't even been walking. I don't know.
No. Oh my gosh, you were just a tiny thing last time I saw you. It's good to see you.
I had a name and then I immediately thought, I think we already have that name. Sorry. Pauline, do you want to wave and say hi? And you see the little girl kind of like clutches mom's leg. I'm just going to give a little wave to this thing. And she's like looking around. She goes, and
oh, these are my friends. These are my friends. We just passing through, unfortunately, on business. But I wanted to show them home.
I see. Yeah. Welcome. My name is Artemis. What is each of your names? And waits patiently for each of your names down the line. So we'll say we'll go from left to right. So Titian, you see her just kind of like waiting for you.
Hello, my name is Titian, and
Titian.
my name is Titian, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine. I assure you. That is a very interesting looking beast behind you. As you see her kind of like look down at her children and kind of like start to kind of scoot them back a little, or just like I think she like looks and makes sure she knows where they are.
Sure. Don't worry. He looks intimidating, but he's a sweetheart.
He looks intimidating. Child, that is a 3-headed dog behind you.
I know, but it's a bit of a long story.
And you look right at the camera.
We found him as an abandoned pup and have been raising him. So he's just the sweetest, excellent with children, even if he's enormous.
Okay, well, Pauline, Philip, you heard the woman. And you see them like kind of like immediately like let go and to start to kind of like run forward to.
I'm gonna look at him. Be nice.
Okay, you do hear an initial like.
Be nice.
Dips his head down.
Just the sweetest.
Isn't it so great to have just a normal reaction to this kind of thing? God, I'm so glad to be home. Grian McCraith, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, of course, yes. Wow, you are... Sorry,
no.
I'm a married woman. I'm a married woman. You are quite a... yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Is that... Actually, say Grian, your wings are not noticeable unless you let them
pop
up,
them.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Wow. Okay. You look like you know how to. I'm sorry. Oh. Pauline, you didn't hear anything.
Hi, I'm a
nice to meet you.
Before Grian can open his mouth.
Anthony, you have been gone a while. Yes. Okay.
All right, not that long, for heaven's sake.
Well, speaking of, you just said you rescued this thing as a pup, and is like looking like at this point, Donzig is essentially about as like for Ianthe specifically, probably just about as tall as Ianthe, maybe like coming to shoulder height, just like sitting. How long has it been?
A few weeks.
Okay. All right, dogs grow fast. Okay. Yes, Adim, nice to meet you. Are you happen to be from? Ianthe, help me out. The underwater kingdom. Honoria. Yeah.
I come by way of Honoria. Yes.
Awesome. I hear it's lovely there. Any time of the year. Underwater.
The weather's always pleasant, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Dean looks just uncomfortable. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Looks over at Pixelden. Pixelden, what are you doing right now?
I'm hiding behind Titian.
Okay, you got it.
I've never been somewhere where I've been accepted.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Rolled a nat 20 to see you. I'm sorry. Is there another little? Hello.
Hi.
Sorry. You're an adult. Hi.
Jokes.
Hello. I am I'm sorry. What was that?
Nothing.
Nat 20. I think
Nothing.
she does hear something. Oh, okay. Well, I'm Artemis. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Is this? sorry. I guess is this your first time here in?
Yes, this is as far as north as I've ever been.
Oh, great. Wow. Okay, so South that means. All right. Well.
Just
yeah,
from
start
all
recording
around.
at the ears like.
Oh.
Is it worth it? Okay. All right. And I'm sorry. You're and looks at Aerin, who is couldn't be more out of place here. A being of just like this monochromatic sort of look at like an extremely colorful, like you see like there's like flowers all around everywhere.
Aerin, pleasure.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you. Aerin, you look a little pale. Are you feeling all right?
Oh, it's just in my blood. And this is Alyssa.
I'm so sorry. That was extremely rude of me. Hi. And you see Alyssa has been like sitting on Danzig and like kind of like as Philip and Pauline are like kind of actually I gotta roll for this. She doesn't see a lot of kids. Okay, cool. She kind of like pulls Danzig, the main like Danzig head, like sort of like back away from them a little bit. As Aerin, as you say her name, hi. You want to keep them away from this, from this head. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
They're all fine. They're all fine.
Okay. I mean, if you need me to pull them away, that's not a. Pauline. I mean, there's a lot that's going on now. It's about Pauline and Phil coming back, and you see like Pauline and just like kind of like grumpily move away. Well, sorry, I don't want to keep you from wherever your travels are taking you. Listen, honey, I don't know how long you're here for, but we do lunch or dinner?
Yes, yes. We're not here for long, but we'll be coming back probably, hopefully, not too. Hopefully, we won't be gone long. So I'll come find you.
Okay, great, awesome. I will make sure I have what. You tell me. We'll figure out the details later. But Harold would love to see you as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Come on, kids. So nice to meet you all again. Cool. And you hear as you walk back, say, "All right, now, kids, you don't tell Harold anything about what Mom did during the conversation." You hear that.
Where's Ewolf?
What's that?
Ewolf.
Ewolf is sorry. Ewolf was probably there. So I would say Ewolf's probably kind of like behind Danzig, and he like kind of like walks up to you and goes, "Who was that?"
A friend of mine from home.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Moving on.
As Artemis walks away, in her place is like kind of like sort of he's significantly shorter than Artemis. I imagine Artemis is like maybe like 5'5", 5'6". This being is about 5'1", maybe. In their place, you see an interesting looking individual, a like very dark sort of grayish blue tiefling. With a cowboy hat on that has holes where his like some of his horns have kind of like protruded out. A very big smile on his face, and you see a bright, shiny sheriff's badge on his collar. This is Barty Hightide. He looks around at you all.
Oh, I love him.
Hello, hi, I'm Anthony.
Barty, wow. It's
Good to see you.
Been a minute. Recent promotion.
Yeah. Well, for going from the sheriff of the half of Celeste to being full of Celeste. So yeah, thank you for noticing.
Yes.
You look around at this village. This village is not very big at all.
It's like we got contact with like Tish and was like, I had no freaking idea.
Yeah. You see, you do see, kind of like off a little bit further out of the way is another goblin that you recognize as he has called himself Belch. That's his name. But he's been like friends with Barty for a time. You've never really talked much with Belch, but you see Belch also seems to be wearing like he's not wearing like a badge or anything, but he seems to be wearing this like sort of like weird kind of like makeshift like vest that is sharing generally the same shade of blue as what Barty is wearing. So you get the idea of like, and Barty goes, yep, and they even they made Belch a deputy over here. A Belch, it's fine.
Moving up in the world, Belch. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
You see, there's a moment where Bixeldan and Belch lock eyes, and I would like Bix, roll me a d20 and add your charisma modifier.
$19.
Holy
19. You see Belch looks over at you and just kind of like cocks his head to the side and just... Which in Goblin means, where are you staying? We need to talk. Tell me everything.
Which is fun because I don't speak Goblin.
That's amazing. That is fucking amazing. That's so good. So yeah, all you hear is...
And I was like, huh?
Fully thinks you picked it up, and it's like you just hear, well, for the audience at home, he says, later, we'll talk later. and continues to kind of stand sort of off to this, off kilter from Barty. So, who are your friends? I would like to meet you all. Full names, just, where are you from? Where are you headed off to? Do you have family in town? Is there some place in particular that you're looking to spot in the city? Some place that I can kind of guide you around on?
Anthony in her head is like, oh my god, this is what we're going to be doing for 24 hours. We're just going to be introducing ourselves to everyone.
Anthony, roll me an insight check with advantage.
Whoa, not you. Knocked down. 22.
Since Barty's promotion, since you've left, this is a place where not very much goes on, right? Which is kind of one of the reasons why you liked leaving, I think. Barty and Belch are the sheriff and the deputy. You imagine they're probably the only people of law enforcement in this village. In that regard, Barty is being particularly... he's being very welcoming, has that sort of big smile on his face, but he's asking a lot of questions. You get the idea that Barty has been adopting this concept of, the more I know about newcomers, if anything goes out of place and goes wrong, I know who these people are. Which you notice in particular right now, he's saying a lot of things, which means that there must have been something that's happened recently.
Barty, as much as we would love to continue with the pleasantries,
look like you were about to say something. Were you going to say something? No, points to Aerin. You going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Okay. Listen, we can meet up later. We've got some business to attend to. We've got to go visit Mom,
Sure, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sabella will be very excited to see you all. All of you in particular. Yeah. Just for the record, I don't think you're all going to be able to fit in the shop. So if you need to kind of take some time to kind of like wait outside, my office is actually pretty close by. If you want to just kind of like come hang out, and we could just, I don't get to leave the desk very often other than like kind of walking around. So if you guys have, stories of the outside world, would love to hear it, and just kind of like, just get to understand, like, even if it's a personal story or whatever, we'd just love to hear from you.
Gotti, I must say, I am thoroughly impressed with the gusto with which you are taking to your new position. I mean, we all know Celeste is a very safe town, but it could always be safer, couldn't it?
It can always be safer, and let me tell you, it is a believe it or not, it has been a full-time job being here, and
Really?
so, yeah, absolutely. We've had a very interesting thing happen fairly recently. I guess I can tell you all because there's no chance. You guys just got in, right?
Just arrived minutes ago.
Cool, awesome, great. Where did you arrive from? What was the ship?
It's still being processed by the captain, but I figured as a local, I wanted to get off and do my own personal tour, show them, the sites where Daphne and I grew up.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, great. So is the captain coming on land to also introduce himself?
Probably, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So there's been a kind of a weird instance over by our our non-denominational platform of cultural and religious services.
Right. As we all call it.
Yes. Yeah. So Father Wallace is no longer with us. Just so you know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He passed rather suddenly.
Oh no.
There was a situation that happened, but we're getting to the bottom of it, and trying to everyone and no one's a suspect, so it's
Is it safe to assume, because I believe Daphne has contacted Ianthe and said, "Hey, I gotta leave town real quick."
Yeah, actually, that's very safe to assume. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. So, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Hold on. So interestingly enough, one thing, actually, I'm kind of glad that you're here. We were trying to kind of get a vibe of from everybody as far as everybody was here, and there was an interesting group that happened to come in during that time. You see, by the way, for everybody here, there's crowds of people that are kind of moving in and out. Not crowds, but there's people that are kind of moving in. You guys are standing in what you now understand to be the main street, and he's having a full conversation with all of you. I think for everybody else who's listening in this conversation, the vibe that you get is a lot of rolled eyes and a few curious glances. You see a couple of waves from people that are locals, as they're obviously waving to Ianthe. Titian, I don't. It's up to you, but Titian, you could assume that maybe a couple of them are waving at you. You're not sure.
I actually think if this ruins it, Joe, I don't know.
No, go for it.
I think Titian would be a little bored with the conversation, and I think he'd wander off.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. No, totally fair. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Adim follows you for a little while, and then breaks.
You got it. Yeah. Let's say everybody who thinks that they're kind of wandering off. We'll say, well, Titian, you're leading the wandering. So go ahead and roll me a luck roll, please.
Yeah.
This is to find Celeste, Bagman.
17.
17. Okay, cool. We'll say 17 as you're... Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You go.
Oh, yeah.
You go.
I think Titian just looks at the guy and he goes, I could probably go to the bathroom right now. Let's go ahead. Again, he's just going off.
You got it. Cool. Awesome. I will say, as you were walking off, so you rolled a 17. Cool. He sees you kind of walking off and goes, to be honest with you, just keep it between you and me, if that's okay. So Father Wallace actually got decapitated. Titian, you hear that.
What?
You hear that because it's definitely a theater whisper, in the idea that it's your choice on whether or not Titian picks up on this or not. But in the idea of if I use certain trigger words, you might be interested in this conversation and stick around.
I think, okay, so knowing that, Titian will just look down. You said he's fairly short, right?
Yeah, he's 5'1".
Was it clean? the clean blow.
He is in the middle of a conversation. Like he's like, so yeah, so I got decapitated. So it was really, it was.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Did it look like it? Did it look like it was just one fell swoop, or did they really hack at it?
God.
He looks at you, and you can tell you're being examined. I would like you to roll me an insight check as he gives you his answer.
What was up that for insight?
Decent insight.
All right, that's a 16.
16, cool, awesome. With a 16, you get the idea of he is good at keeping people in conversation, in the idea of like trying to get them talking to be able to kind of explain more about them. Information is power in his position. However, you can see him looking at you and trying to kind of get an idea, a read on you as he's continuing the conversation. He sucks at it. He's not picking up anything. You can tell that like he's new or something to it. Like anything that he's not picking up that you're just not outright telling him is going to be small. It's small potatoes. He's not getting anything new as far as information. I guess I mean it was from the it looked pretty clean. Yeah. Are you familiar with that? Like those types of I mean, I see I see that. Sorry, I see the sword on your back, friend. Have you seen a lot of decapitated? Maybe you could come down to the station and well, no, I guess you can't. We did send that body off.
What's your name?
Barty. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Barty. Barty High Tide. Nice to meet you.
Barty. Hey, Barty. It's really good to meet you. I'm more than happy to talk to you about this. You're going to need to buy me a drink first.
Okay. Yeah. Heard. I understand. Absolutely. Yeah. Miss Telly's you know what? Miss Telly's right down there. Let's go ahead and walk together, everybody. And you see he's like an Australian shepherd. He's herding everybody to the same area. Feel free to
I guess
fight
I'll
this. Yeah.
catch up with you all later.
Oh, you're coming. He's bringing all of you, unless you're.
I'm gonna go see my mom.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. So you're. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. You know what? Yeah.
Is this an appropriate place for children?
Are you, who's asking?
Bixeldan is asking.
Okay. Is this an appropriate place for children?
You're going to have a drink. Most places I've heard of having a drink is not a place that we have children.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, they can't, are you talking about this little one? Hi. No, she can't, obviously she can't imbibe. That's going to be, that's going to be a no-no. But yeah, of course, no, she can absolutely be that. It's a very relaxed sort of place. Hi, by the way, my name is Barty, and he puts a hand out to you, Bixeldan.
Bixeldan.
All right. Does Bixeldan have a last name, or?
He doesn't.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'm actually going to make an attempt. Go ahead, Tishin. Go ahead.
No, I was going to take it. I was going to take it there. Please, Adim, go.
I'm going to make an attempt to save them a little bit. I break off from the group without saying anything and walk directly to his offices that he pointed out.
Okay, you got it. Cool.
And I do it very obviously, like I'm beelining for it. And if the door's open, I go inside, close the door behind me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see. Okay, so from you walking off, like, okay, yeah, no, we'll catch up later. As you get to the door. Oh, okay, great. Well, I guess he's probably waiting for me, and you close the door. Oh, Belch, you have the keys, right? You have the keys. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have the keys. We're good.
Wait a second. That guy's name is Belch.
That's Belch. Yeah, over here. Belch. He's not. He's. I do the talking. He does the cuffing. So Belch, you want to wave and say hi? Belch, they're not.
Is
they're
that
not.
like
they're probably not
like a
speaking
family
Goblin.
thing,
No one's. Sorry, Belch typically likes to. He knows.
Tishy's gonna reach into his.
Common.
Tishy's gonna reach into the bag of holding and I think pull out the stone.
Oh, the pearl.
Okay.
Yeah.
The pearl that can. What is it? It can like
comprehend languages.
I can understand and speak any language for an hour, and he's just gonna like hold on to it and just try to listen for what Belch is saying. As soon as he can like hear that it's a different language.
Okay, as soon as you can hear, cool. So you hear the back half of this. You hear. Well, this is tricky because Barty also does know Goblin. You hear. You hear the back half of this is going nervous in crowds. From Belch. That's all you hear.
Titian will just like use the rock to go. All right. Then he'll like put the rock away. They'll just say that in like Goblin, and then I guess just put it away because he has nothing to say about that.
You see, like he kind of like maneuvers like past it and starts to try to have a full conversation that you've already put the stone away, as you're not hearing anything that he's saying. Okay, all right, yeah, all right, Belch, Jesus, okay, you need to relax. Sorry, I guess it's. There's been a lot that's going on here and not a lot going on. Sorry, we're going to Mystelia, so let's go ahead and go.
So you're allowing somebody to be in the sheriff's office unattended?
Well, we currently don't have anyone in custody right now, so, yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys all wanted to go there, so I can kind of, be able to talk to...
Isn't that where Adim went? This is me, Chris, saying. Didn't Adim go there?
that is where Adim went, yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to get him to break off from you guys.
I know, that's what I'm trying to help that.
Yeah, he rolled a 5. He's not incredibly intelligent. He rolled a 5. No, we don't have anyone in there right now, like, as far as, I assume that you guys know him well enough. He probably wouldn't be trying to break anyone out. So, and there's no one there to break out, so it's fine.
But you said you want to talk to us there, and now you want to. Where do you want to talk to us at?
Well, it's just easier. That's where the papers are that have all my information.
So you want to interrogate us?
If you need to go, I mean,
not in so many words. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. And you see him kind of run off towards there, as you feel that you've been let free at this point. Anthe, were you running off to your mom's, or do you just hide behind a corner and just wait for the possible chance that Barty has been that the party's been able to move away from Barty?
That's such a good question.
Can we assume that Barty randomly get the key, and then I can just tell Adim get out now, and so while Barty's grabbing the key, I can.
Well, Belch has the key, so Belch is going to follow Barty. Says one more thing to Bixeldan. The Bixeldan, you have no idea what he says.
I'll just smile and nod.
Yeah, smile and nod. As you see, I will say here there is a window here, Adim. If you want to say to if Green wants to be hey, Adim, if you want to get out now, you if you can find.
I'm going to try something. I just let me play a little bit. This could be fun.
Okay.
Cool. So here's what I'm going to ask. So now that I'm going to say you rejoin the group. You find so that you can go actually where you want to go.
Yeah.
So Anthe, where are you heading to? Are you going straight to your mom's, or are you going to Mystelia's? Are you bringing the group to your mom's, or bringing the group to Mystelia?
I wanted to bring the group to my mom, so I feel like I look back, see everybody scattered, and I'm like, oh, jeez. So I go to Mystelia's to kind of regroup everybody.
Well, this happened very quickly, so I'm going to say that you have everybody except for Adim.
Oh, okay.
So you can, yeah.
I think I'll go, and I'll be like, oh, I wanted to take everybody to mom. We gotta talk to her. So
Drop off Alyssa.
I would say because your mother's so the shop is everything is close to everything here. So there is that, right? So like if you wanted to kind of like if you wanted to kind of wait and see what happens with a Deem, you could do that. If you wanted to go into Mistelia's, you know, the only thing with Mystelia is a significantly bigger establishment than the rest of those places. So if you're in Mistelia's, you're kind of in obviously you can leave, but you get what I'm saying? Like if you're trying to wait and see what happens with a Deem, that's cool. If you want to go into Mistelia's, that's cool. If you want to just say, we have a sending stone, let's tell a Deem to catch up with us here.
yeah, that's probably what I'll do. Like it seems pretty good at not getting himself in trouble.
Cool.
So if anyone else, I'd probably be really nervous, but because it's a team, I'm like less ideal, but okay, we can handle that.
Yeah, cool. You got it. Cool. So, Adim, you were in. You spent about a solid. I'd say you had like a solid 20 seconds in this room by yourself. If there's
do I see anything? Yeah, is there anything of note that I can see or read that I understand without touching anything?
You see there are several pages on a desk where there's a chair, there's two chairs that are in front of the desk and then one sort of like seemingly official chair sort of behind it.
If I could get like an idea of the paperwork, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to do anything to it other than just look at it, kind of make out what it's about.
Absolutely. Give me an investigation check. Low DC.
Wrong character for this. 6.
6. You got it. You managed to see it is there is a letter that is that you just begin to read. Just wanted to thank you for the quick transportation of the body of Father Maurice. We'll keep in touch if we find out any more information. And before you're able to read the name, Barty kind of comes in. Okay. Hey, friend. So I guess you kind of took me up on my offer to come.
Well, this is where you said to go, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's right. So feel free to take a seat. Let's hear
Sure.
some life stories. Very excited about that. Yeah, cool. You sit down. What is your intention here? What would you like to do here? Are you here?
I've been here before. I've been here several times actually, but probably when you were younger. Maybe you weren't in charge of. I start talking about my time at sea. I start telling about time. I will go into anything from my childhood in Enoria that might have this much interest, but I lie about all of it.
You lie about all of it? Okay, cool. Give me a deception check.
Basically, I'm telling whale tales at a tavern, but I'm doing it with the sheriff.
You got it. I love that.
Oh my god. Nat 20.
Incredible. He is eating it up. So he rolled a Constitution saving throw on the idea of like him being able to listen to all this stuff that's not going to pertain to him. He rolled extremely high. And in regards to hearing stories that may contain nuggets of information he can use later, he's very interested. So he's writing down. So what did you say his name was? That was
I tell him not a single damn real name. The only thing he gets that's real out of me is I'm a Deem and I'm from Enoria.
Cool.
Everything else is a total lie. I'm making it up.
So you said his name. So you said the name was Captain Bob?
Yes. It was so simple.
Captain Bob.
I think it came from the time when he fell off the ship. But as I said, he was very heavy and he kind of just floated and bounced in the water. I think that's where he came from.
Gotcha. That's really interesting. Tell me more about. So what was the other people
so
on the ship
Bob,
like?
And I just keep going.
And we cut to.
And I just keep him away from them. So,
cool.
And with my stone, I cover with one of my hands real quick and just put it down as I'm talking. And I'm like, okay, I got him. Just do what you need to do. And so the people know.
You absolutely are able to do that. Yeah. Cool. I'll say with that Nat 22, like Grian, you could easily say like, hey, we're gonna be like, we're kind of like right across the street whenever you find a way to break away.
When I do feel like I can be done, I will go and meet them.
You got it. Cool. I'm gonna say like there'll be a certain point where I'll say you're able to kind of come in. Oh, that's so freaking good. That's so good. That you're showing up late. That's great. Cool. So, Ianthe, you come up to the door of the shop. You see there's been some other decorations that have been like put here that you definitely think are gaudy. They're things that you wouldn't have you would have tried to convince your mom to not put up, but because you're not here, they're here. So you see they're like in the windows. You see like beads and like things like that have these that clearly are like fake. Like in such a fake way that like you're not even they're not even trying to convince you that they're real, but you see like these fake sort of jewelry things that are like lining sort of the one shop window, and it says we'll fix your clothes for cheap, come on in.
Is it just me? I got a little lost. Is it just
Sure.
me here and everybody else is at Mistelia's?
No.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. I got confused.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You corralled the group to Sabella's if you want to, if that was your intention.
I think I'm going to retcon just slightly. I'm going to say to start, I'm going to go just me.
Okay. In what way? Are they like standing out on the street or?
I would have left them at probably Mistelia's.
Okay, cool. You got it. All right. So in that way, we're gonna take a pause with Sabella's because we want to make sure we're handling the rest of you guys. There's gonna be a lot of Ianthe interaction here for a second. So as you guys walk into,
I want to before we talk about going to the bar. I want to see if Alyssa wants to go to the beach instead of going in here.
That's a good question. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, you say beach because there's well, I mean, we just left the water, but is there stuff to do at the beach?
Would there
be other kids at the beach?
Maybe there might be. I don't know. I've never been here.
Okay,
before.
Let's go. And you see her and I'll say too. She goes. Actually, she gets on top of Danzig's head and just goes, "Let's go. Come on."
Just you and me. I want to talk to you.
Oh, okay, all right. Danzig, stay. Danzig has not like taken any command from her at all. I'll say at this point, Danzig notices that Ianthe is across the street and just decides to cross the street. Meanwhile, you see a couple people that are like, ah! And start running the opposite way as they see this giant Cerberus dog kind of just moving through. Awesome. Cool. So Pixelden, you break off with Alyssa off to the side, and then so we have a Deem who is in Barty's the sheriff's office, and so now so that means we just have Grian, Aerin, and Ewolf, correct? And Titian. So the four of you are directed where Mistelia's is. You see there's a big sign that says Mistelia's on it. That has an interesting sort of like an underwater mural on it, and you can see there's doors that are very much like the. I've changed this almost every time, so I'm sorry to everybody, but I think at one point I said that there's no doors here in Celeste, and then I was like, that's annoying. So there's corral doors. What's the word?
Swinging doors.
Yeah, you're talking about,
yeah, swinging saloon doors. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah. So you guys kind of push through, and you come to a tavern. As you guys walk in, I'd like everybody to roll me a perception check.
22.
Nice.
This is the tavern.
9.
Nice.
14.
14.
Is the tavern also like the store, or is that a different
place? Yeah.
Okay.
That's he shells you're looking for.
Okay. Sorry.
Cool. So for all of you, we'll say everybody who rolled the 9.
I did.
Tishian? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Tishian, you're on land. This is nice. You look for the closest like table to sit at. Like you just want to sit at a table. You just want to take a breath and like sit somewhere where you're not having to deal with the occasional this. So yeah, so you take that moment, just kind of like grab a place and sit down. Cool. Do me a favor, guys, and if you can mute yourselves, because I'm hearing a pretty bad echo on your side. So when you're talking, feel free to jump in. But cool. So Grian rolled over a 20 or over, and then Aerin rolled a 14.
Yeah.
Cool. So at the bar, you're looking kind of like dead ahead. This bar is kind of pretty simple. It's shaped in this kind of like this like uppercase T, but you're entering from like the top side, so it's kind of upside down T, I guess. And you see at the far end where there's like this kind of like hallway sort of breaks out is where that bar is. And you see there's a couple people in here that are interesting looking, but at the bar behind the bar, you see this very interesting woman who has this weird sort of translucent glow about her. She is completely blue from head to toe. You see there are dreads that seem to kind of like go back and out, and seem to be like floating as if she's underwater. You can see like the sunlight's kind of like shining through from the back end there. You can actually see like a hint of the light of the opposite window frame through her. And as you all walk in, you see her. She kind of like turns and greets you all and goes, "Oh, hello.
Hello.
Come on in.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome to Mistelia's." You guys come closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Who wants to take the lead?
I will. Hello. I guess what's on the menu today?
What's on the menu today? Well, there is, as always, there are definitely certain types of seafood. We actually have some interesting squid that's come in. Are you interested in particular? Normally, most people are just really interested in the alcohol, but we certainly can serve food. As far as any specials on that, what do you have? We'll figure it out.
I think we'll start with a round of drinks, and I'll try that squid.
All right, sounds fantastic. Are you interested in we have a really nice island rum? I assume you're not from the coastal area.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Got it, absolutely. You see her kind of turn around, and there's this weird moment that she turns around, but you can also see what she's working on too. So you can kind of like look through her here. Say both of you, as you're taking this this moment to kind of be at the bar, give me a history or nature check.
I'll do nature for 18.
History for 22.
Both of you. Cool. I don't think you've ever seen, at least in your travels around here, I don't think there's anyone in particular that you would have noticed that resembles her, but you get the idea of like the underwater sort of vibe, the see-through sort of blue sort of quality to it. This woman is a water elemental. So she grabs those drinks for you. So that squid will be out in a minute. By the way, my name is Mistelia. Nice to meet you both. What can I call you?
Aerin.
Aerin. Nice to meet you.
Green.
Green. Sorry, if I may, it looks like you've probably been having to answer that question a couple times today. I apologize. Just trying to be friendly, honestly. But yeah, Aerin and Green, nice to meet you. You both have like there's no relation between you two, right?
No.
Not that I know of.
Just interesting. You kind of have that same sort of look in your eye. I'm just curious. But great. Well, what brings you to? You know what? Go ahead and take a seat. I'll let that squid. I'll bring that squid out to you presently. And, we can have a conversation if you'd like, but it sounds like I can kind of see you both seem to be ready to relax. So, welcome. This is the best place to do that.
Thank you so much.
And you grab your you grab your drinks. You go to the table, and at this point, Titian, you realize that you don't have a drink.
Oh, I got him. I would have gotten him a drink.
You would have gotten him a drink. Cool.
Yeah.
You got it. So 2 drinks. That same sort of island rum, right?
In a bowl.
We'll say in this case, it's actually in like a mixed drink sort of form. So it's essentially like kind of like this island sort of version of like a screwdriver. It's presented to you. So it's like this deep orange drink that you see Aerin places in front of you, Titian.
Oh. Well, I think there's like, hey, over here. Hey, you guys got a table right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be clear, extremely easy to spot Titian in this one.
Hey, friends. And by the way, I just switched some audio stuff, so hopefully the echo's not as bad.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, great.
Oh, what did you get me? This is, and I'm just like picturing this fish bowl of like what you get like in New Orleans. What
Hell
is
It's called an island rum?
an island rum? Rum?
Yes, rum.
Well, this is an interesting predicament we got ourselves here.
Well, cheers to being on land again, I suppose.
Right. Cheers, and we'll just...
Cheers. Oh, this rum makes me want to run. This is great. Oh, this is good.
So don't run too much, because we got somewhere to be a little bit later.
Hey, bartender. Oh, sorry. I need like
far away.
I need like 7 more of these. These are fantastic. Do you think? Hey, Aerin. Do you think we could Do you think if we took these into the Shadowfell, that'd be okay?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we definitely need some rum for the Shadowfell. I'm sure we get some of that.
I'll see what I can do.
Speaking of, it's been like a long time. Like, how is everyone? How are you two doing? I feel like, Grian, you were kind of holed up with Kofi the whole time.
I mean, I'm doing good. I think it was nice to have someone to talk to, kind of that way, and connect with. I mean, you guys are great. Don't get me wrong, but I
you're
think
not
it was
connecting with us the same way you do with Kofi. Hey-oh.
a lot of connecting. But no, I think it was great to have somebody that I could just talk to and connect that way. And I don't want to say it's been a long time, but it's been a bit. But yeah, yeah. It's weird. It's been like a distant 7 days, but not. Even though we've all been close to each other, but
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, I'm happy you got some like good quality time. All kidding aside.
yeah, me too. What about you guys? How are you guys doing? I know it's been a weird 7 days too. So
It really has.
Mhm.
I mean, you with your magical good bad face, you going into the realm of death and coming back, Jerry. We'll pour a little one out on the side.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
I found out my brother's probably trying to kill me now. That's fun. Yeah.
That's never fun. Oh, by the way, I would have bought Aewolf a drink too. If he's still with us.
Yeah. Ewolf comes, came in, probably like sat down with Titian, and moves to like kind of tries to sit as close to the corner of the bar as he can, and it's just like looking around, and you see he seems nervous.
Okay.
Um,
Is your brother currently tracking you? Do you know?
No idea. I just heard that he's sort of working for the Roar, and I mean, we talked about it a little bit the other night. Kind of bonded over something like that. No, I think I can't say for sure. I just know he's working for the Roar higher ups, and I mean, they're all we're probably on their radar, so he's probably going to be
So best to
looking.
stay away from the north.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
for the West?
I suppose it is more west of us now.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that last little part.
Oh, it's West. No, North.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I'm not good with directions. I don't know.
oh, I mean, when you say that he's probably trying to kill us, do you mean that he's like if he just came across us, or we like crossed him kind of way, and he's like, "Fuck you guys," like.
Oh, I think we're enemies of the Roar, and he especially has sights on me as a traitor of the Roar, and in that way, we're probably they probably have people, if not constantly on the lookout for us, definitely maybe someone that's already keeping an eye on us. So that's just a fun thing. So yes, to your point.
So kind of like that blind faith kind of thing.
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
we do the best. And I mean, then other than that, I just sort of like just hung out on the ship.
Titian.
Mm.
At this moment, you see a Deem. You walk in to Mistelius, as I assume Green would eventually kind of like have you come in here. But Titian, as we're directing a Deem here, roll me a perception check, please. Adim, you come in to Mistelia's. You see Mistelia kind of like waves a hand as like showing like, "Hey, I'm the barkeep. If you need a drink," like trying to just give that like sort of like vibe of like I'm here if you need me. Adim, are you coming up to the bar? Or do you go to sit down?
Are they far away from the bar?
Mistelia herself is far enough away from the bar that she can't hear you. So I'm going to say that she's probably about maybe 30 feet away. So
I meant, are they away from the bar?
They are away from the bar. Yes. So yes, in answering your question, yes.
I want a drink. So I guess if she waved over to me, I'm not going to spend too much time with her, but I'll walk over and then join them. So I'll walk over to her since she waved.
Okay, you got it. You see her kind of doing the like everybody in my campaign as a barkeep is cleaning a glass. That's all they can do. Yeah, you see her cleaning a glass. Well, howdy, friend. Welcome above ground. How can I help you?
Just an ale, please.
Fantastic, absolutely. Honoria?
Yeah.
You see she's grabbing the stuff.
Yeah. By way of Honoria. Yeah.
Pity
I'm not Triton, clearly, so.
Right. Yeah. She can tell you're not Triton for sure.
Okay. Good.
So she's seeing that, and she's and there's many places, right? But Honoria is like kind of like the New York of the United States.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like in that regard, there's a good chance that you're aware of at least.
Okay.
So they mentioned that as like
in that case, the way she asked me, I won't say by way of. I'll just say born and raised.
Born and raised. Oh, fantastic. I pity what's happened there recently, huh?
What's happened?
Oh. Yeah, I guess there's a news underneath does not travel very fast. Well, as far as I know, actually. Cool. As
about, I guess, a couple days before we heard that voice, there was a terrible uprising in Honoria. I guess you don't have any that is on the upper sort of part of like the council or so not.
I don't have family there at all. I was raised by the entire place, kind of.
Gotcha. Okay. I just didn't want to offend if there's but okay. Well, now that I know that your beloved government apparently has not beloved. She wouldn't say that. The government of Honoria, unfortunately, is or monarchy, because the monarchy is unfortunately apparently decided to allow a new elected member of the council to be not a Triton or a water genasi like yourself. They apparently the people elected an Ixtachitl for the council, and before you know it, well, surprise, surprise, there was a huge uprising, and I guess many people died, unfortunately, but it sounds like it was taken care of more or less, so they're kind of just cleaning up the mess from that. But yeah, what a crazy thing.
As she's saying this, my tattoos start glowing a little bit, but just a little. I'm a little heated.
Cool. Yeah, she eyes them, continues talking, but she's eyeing them. Yeah, but I guess it's good that you don't have any family. Hopefully, none of your friends were part of it.
I don't really keep in touch too much. Is the Existential still on the council?
No, thank goodness, no. They're taking care of that now. Actually, I just recently found out the rest of that story because we had the Princess of Honoria here, a couple days ago.
What? Really?
Yeah, Eldrin Enerath herself.
I assume I know that name because I grew up in the city.
You definitely know Enerath.
Okay, so I know Enerath.
Is the family name. Yeah. So she came up with her husband, and there was some miscommunication that went on. I'm not exactly proud of how I handled it, but good thing is on her end, she seems like good people. I'm very excited for when she's going to be brought into full power.
When exactly did they leave, and where'd they go?
From what I understand, I think she told me that she was going back home. They left here about be about 2 days ago.
Huh. All right. Well, thank you for the ale. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Let me know if you need anything else, dear.
Does she spot the Enorian trident that I'm carrying? The High Guard Enorian trident?
Good question.
I'm just given the story. I'm not pointing out like, hey, look at this, but I'm wondering if I catch anything from her.
Roll me your choice: investigation, insight, perception, whatever.
That was my cat.
I'll get that. It's fine. I'll get it.
And I'm rolling investigation or what?
Investigation, insight, or perception. Your call. I would say, like for the trident in particular, probably investigation or perception. But
best on perception, so sure, why not? Let's try that one. Oh, a nat 20, so 23. That was 2 nat 20s in a row. Apparently, my days of sixes are coming in the other way.
Right. But someone feels bad for that
combat,
Monday.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, whatever. Cool. I will say with that nat 20, you see her eye the trident. She definitely notices it. It seems odd to her. I'll say with a nat 20, I will tell you above board, she does not seem to recognize it. It looks very... you've been very kind of like obtuse in your... referencing like who you are in particular. So she's looking at that trident and recognizes it doesn't necessarily match up with what she thinks your story is based on what you said. Nor are people that go like, yeah, I'm kind of from there. Like it's like, oh, cool, commoner. Seeing your trident, she's like, there's more there.
Okay.
That's what you get on that 20, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I thank her.
Also, I will tell you too, your tattoos light up. When she eyes them, she did not seem to be like scared at all.
Well, she's a water elemental, you said. I assume I'm picking up on that.
Oh, you yeah, no roll required. You
Yeah, so, I mean,
you actually get that.
I wasn't expecting her to be freaked out. I'm like, I'm Genasi. She's a water elemental. You know, she's probably more familiar with my father's lineage than I am. So
yeah, your shared blood from back and back in some
yeah,
ways.
so
For sure,
I'm like, I wasn't trying to scare her. I was just having a role play moment of me being angry about my hometown having those evil beasts go in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to say with a nat 22, like that's why I was kind of just even mentioning that. You get the feeling that she's probably pretty powerful herself.
Okay. Well, I don't feel I am. So I thank her for it, and then in Primordial, since it does translate into Aquan, I just say it was nice to meet you, and I'll.
Yeah. Immediately responds. You see her kind of like light up a little bit. Actually, like her face seems to kind of go like a colder sort of blue, which is good. She like becomes happier, and then you get the feeling she doesn't get to practice this very often, and she just replies back, "Yes, and very nice to meet you as well."
And then I'll join the party. Like I'm not trying to.
You got it.
I'm not trying to avoid them today.
Yeah. Tissue, would you roll in perception?
For me?
No, Tissue.
Oh, sorry.
I rolled a 5.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. You're kind of engaged in the story of the people that are at your table right now. But cool. I want to make sure we get to everything today. So if we have time, we'll kind of come back to you guys at the bar. But Bixeltan, so you were out. You're out on the beach with Alyssa, and to make this make sense, I imagine that Ewolf saw that you were with her and just decided like she's okay for right now, because normally he's going to be following her, but
because I'm perfectly safe.
Yeah, because you're perfect. Why would he assume anything? Yeah, you see, there are actually indeed some like island kids who seem to be like kicking this this like interesting sort of looking looks like a coconut that might have had like rubber bands sort of like wrapped around it of some sort. And it looks like they're kind of like kicking it back and forth. They're all definitely older than her, probably like 12 or 13. But you see her kind of like once you're having a conversation with them, she's eyeing them.
Remember the present I was making for you?
I snap to you.
I'll pull out the wand. This is a wand. Have you ever seen a wand before?
I've seen it. I don't know why I was mistaken. I've seen a stick before. Is that?
Well, this can help you focus. This, I think, I made this for you so it will help you control things, control your power.
You see, she's confused, and then her eyes kind of like light up, like, oh, okay.
And I'll give her the handle.
She kind of looks at you like she gives like kind of like this like she cocks her head a little bit. Why are you giving me this?
Because I want you to learn how to control your powers.
Why?
I don't want you to be scared anymore. I don't want you to be afraid you're going to hurt things anymore.
Roll a persuasion check.
$30.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. What do I do?
And so as I don't take a lot of time here, be like, I'll just kind of work with her on, this is what you do. Here's how you focus on it. When you want to try to use your power, just kind of imagine it coming, your power going to this stick. And okay. Chris is not a magician, so he can't explain it that well, but I'm sure Bix could explain it extra well.
What do I what do I try? What's not
something
dangerous to
you
try?
I'll pull out. I'll just grab a handful of sand and say, try to make this circle around.
Circle around us?
Yes.
A lot of times, if I'm trying to make a circle around anything, it just turns into fire around us.
I will help with the fire. If there is fire, I will help put it out.
Okay. Are you drawing the circle, or are you throwing it up in the air?
I was wanting to take it out of my hand and do it.
You wanted her to take it out of your hand?
Magically lift it out of my hand and like mage hand basically, and then move it around.
Make it a circle around.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Cool. She's gonna roll a. She's gonna roll essentially like a spell attack for this. Would you like to flash a genius her?
It's also a +1. Although you have to attune it. But yes, I will flash a genius her.
Cool. Awesome. Can you do me a favor, please? And roll me a D100.
Come on, wild magic surge of 75.
75. You see, as she manages to kind of pull she pulls the sand as if it's like all attached together to one sort of strand out. And as she does so, you see the strand itself start to kind of light up in this very it starts out as yellow and then turns to like a light green and turns to a red, and it's very beautiful. As you see it kind of sort of snake around you, you notice that light starts to get brighter and brighter and brighter. It's now getting dangerously bright.
Okay, set it down now.
Okay, how do I do that?
Set the sand down.
I'm trying. I can't. I'm
let go. Let go. Look at the ocean. Feel the breeze.
She's staring at you. You can tell, you see a tear kind of going down her cheek at this. I don't know. I can't.
Look at me.
I don't know.
Look at me. Look at your friend. You're gonna be fine. You can do this. Close your eyes, take a breath, and just let go.
And you see, as she lets go, the light that shines around you both immediately gets shot out into the sky, like a beacon, like the strongest sort of light that you've seen. This is bright. It's bright middle of the day, but this is casting a whole new sort of like level of light. I need a Constitution saving throw from you. I would say you have advantage.
Oh, good. I'm going to use a flash of genius and make it a 16.
You got it. Cool. I'll say 16 will do it, as you're able to keep yourself from being blinded as you were just trying to concentrate on her. And you see her kind of okay, you need to tell me when I can open my eyes.
I'm going to hug her.
Okay. As you hug her, she can't help but open her eyes. She hugs you back, and in that flash of that moment, as soon as she opens her eyes, goes down.
She is in your arms, crying and going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
You are doing amazing. You are doing great. You have an awesome ability in you, and it's got to be difficult. I can't imagine what you go through, but you're doing incredible, and you're going to do amazing things. You just got to learn to breathe. You got to learn to let it go.
Okay. You hear in the far off distance, hey, little girl? You see her kind of like pull away from your arms, kind of look over, and you see there's just like a halfling boy. You can see like maybe like a little bit of like chin strap sort of like thing. He's probably like 16. He's older than the other kids. He's like,
Yeah.
Hey, that was really cool. And you see her like she just breaks into a smile and looks back at you. And okay.
You got this. You got this. Now, I don't know. I think we told. I don't know if anyone's told you, but we're going to have to go on a little trip, and soon. You're going to stay with someone that Ianthe knows, and I want you to two things. I want you to get outside. Practice.
Ianthe told me to behave myself. I'm going to be in so much trouble.
Stop it. You will not be in trouble. But I just want you to think about, just let go. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. Feel the breeze. Feel the sand. This could be the best thing for you. E-Wolf will be here.
Okay. I don't even know what I did. But I don't want to tell him. He thought it was cool, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You see her. She seems to kind of understand. Actually, roll an insight check.
Sure. Just a 7.
7. Cool. With a 7, actually, I would say you have advantage. You've kind of like you've bonded with her. You would have advantage on this.
7.
Nice. Okay, cool. With a 7, there's a lot that like you're seeing a very weird sort of emotional vibe from this wild magic sorcerer. Mm-hmm. There's like the wild magic is like represented in the like twist of emotions in her face. She seems scared. She seems sad. She seems happy. She seems elated. She seems worried, like all at once.
Well, basically everything I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I think like he like truly. I don't know. I don't think Bixeldan recognizes that, but it is like it is just a slew of like emotions.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're all kind of trying to like fight. Like they're trying to like fight for what would be the main one, and you can't tell.
Yeah,
and she just puts the wand away. Goes, okay, all right. Okay.
You know what's special about this wand?
What?
Danzig helped me make it.
Actually, I'm gonna say just a little kid version of this. You say, you know what's special about this wand is you manage to like take it out from her. She looks around, it's like, oh no, I lost it already. What? It's just in your hands. Oh, okay. Danzig made it?
He helped me make it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe we should. I'm gonna go thank him.
Where is Danzig? Oh, he went with Ianthe. You sure you don't want to play in the ocean a little bit more?
Oh God, yeah, that sounds good. And you see her like she like goes out, runs to like the middle of the like sort of like the precipice, like right in between where the shore kind of comes in, and like plops herself down and just immediately starts to kind of try to make something in the sand.
Cool.
And we'll kind of like fade out from you in this moment. Very cool. Awesome. Golf clap. Beautiful. Great. Ianthe, you You get to the door. You see all the things that we mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
and you see. I think you even see in the window. You can see your mother, like kind of like working, putting something through the the machine.
Sewing machine.
Sewing machine. Thank you, Jesus.
The machine that does the sewing.
The machine that does the sewing. Yeah, the sewing machine. Yeah, you see. You can see her in the window. She doesn't see you, but she's just kind of working hard at work. You can see her kind of like wipe her brow.
I'm just gonna walk inside. I don't know if there's like a little door thing.
Yeah, you walk inside. You see there's that immediate counter. There's a moment where you just feel like as you hear her say, "Be with you in a minute," and you feel a sense of like this unleashing of like just any sort of like nervous energy of things that have gone over in the past week, of all the stuff just kind of melts away just for a moment as you feel like you're in like this is your childhood home. You never moved. You grew up here and everything looks exactly the way that you left it. Granted, this is the store sort of part of it, but you can see like up the stairs is where your room would be and everything, you know. There's a couple of new clothes that are on the rack, but nothing yeah, mostly the same.
Yeah, I'm probably just walking around like touching everything.
Roll me a perception check.
Two out there. 11.
11. You see there is an interesting looking, pretty easy to see because it's kind of like been set in a place of like it's new and it's you know it's set as like clearly the things that she's most proud of she's going to put, you know, dead center in there.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're kind of like looking through the rack, you happen to notice a new piece of clothing. It has a interesting sort of look. It's a little different than what she normally designs. You know, when we say that she's a tailor for clothes, not armor. She's not like she's not that type of like, you know. But you see there is what looks interestingly like a form of leather armor. There is it's like this very very extremely light gray, almost white sort of leather that has this interesting sort of like gray has the like gray sort of streaks through it, like how leather would like change from a lighter brown to a darker brown. So it has that sort of like vibe to it, but over just kind of the top, and you see this like kind of I believe it's called like gambeson sort of design, where it's only the top from here up has that like very light gray, almost white sort of appearance, and then down below is this like heavy sort of stitched leather that is together that has like all these like has like these buttons to kind of put on, and then like a belt that actually kind of like runs from the shoulder down. You notice with an 11 that there seems to be an interesting sort of like patch that is done exactly right back where the neck would be, that has like has a blue sort of diamond sort of like marked into it. All this is leather. And then on top of that, you see a single button. As you're looking at it, you see, you happen to see your mom kind of like pull up the like sort of divider and kind of comes in and just, okay, hi, how can I help you?
Hi, Mom.
Just runs to you, throws her arm around you, and there's a beautiful moment of embrace as your mother, Sabella, embraces her daughter.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's just like looking. Gosh, wow, honey, that is quite the dress. Doesn't really go with those pants, by the way. But.
Needs must.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome home.
Oh, you're.
Sorry about the surprise. I wanted to surprise you.
That's okay. Yes, you know how much I love surprises. Wow, are you alone? Are you your sister just left?
I know. I talked to her. I just missed her. Um, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just really happy to see you. Um, I'm not here alone. I've brought some friends with me. They're down at Vestelia's, but I wanted to see you. I wanted to see you and say hi and talk to you about a couple of things. Nothing bad.
Of course. Oh, did you you like your mother's?
This is new and unusual for you.
Yes.
usual.
Well, yeah. It's trying to spice up. I've looked through a couple books of what seems to be like leather armor as far as people. I was given this material at up at the top here. It's kind of it's interesting. It has it like it feels cold to the touch. Feel it.
Oh, interesting. I've never encountered that with a garment before.
Ianthe, roll an Arcana check.
I'm gonna do one. 17.
17. The 17, you're pretty sure your mother does not know this, that she has created a magical piece of armor.
Wow. Just experimenting, or is this a design for someone?
There was a very strange group that came into my shop. I guess, a few days back, or actually, sorry, apologies, Unearthed Arcanum. That's not true, according to her. No, actually, it was just in my shop one day. I don't know where it came from, and it was weird. It was, okay, so I can tell you this. It was actually it was in my room, and I was having trouble remembering what happened the day before. So, obviously, I'm fine. Days by. I was a little flustered for a second. Changed the locks, all that. So.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay, I guess.
Yeah. Well, enough about me. Tell me everything about you. First off, above board, where is Abel?
Oh God.
Where did we leave Abel?
Abel should be here. I sent
Abel's
him
here, okay.
to escort Daphne home. So unless he's left,
Gotcha.
he should
Cool.
be here.
Yeah. No, I'll say Abel's here. I'm not gonna throw that monkey wrench into it.
Now we have to track down Abel.
No. Abel will be dying to see you. He's actually been doing. He's been kind of shut in the past couple of days. I guess he's writing something.
Interesting. Interesting. Yes, I'll have to see if I can. I do have a bit of bad news. I'm only here for the day. We're not staying long. We've got somewhere else we have to be.
What do you mean for the day? Are you spending the night?
We've got 24 hours. At this point, probably 22.
Well, I don't... Dearest, I am not a sailor, but I'm pretty sure you shouldn't be leaving land at night. That's not a... Or are you going...
I didn't say we were sailing out.
Are you going through the woods? That's also not a good idea. At
Mom,
night. Just stay the night. Just spend the night. Just one night. It's not going to kill you. Just spend the night.
It's not up to me. We'll stay as long as we can.
Well, I am so excited to meet this group that has kept my daughter away for so long and has decided that the day that I get to see her, she's out. Okay. You're an adult. You and your sister are clearly adults, doing your own thing.
I actually... Well, this sort of leads to my next, a bit of... I have a favor to ask of you, and it's kind of a big one.
Okay.
We have a child with us. Sort of
Okay.
picked her up along the way.
Does she have a father attached to her, perchance?
Yes, and a mother who's not me.
Uh-huh.
So, she is coming with
I'm
us.
sorry. Are you? Okay. I guess this is not
I
translating
don't
well.
even know how to
Did you pick
explain
up a single dad? Is what I'm asking. It's
No.
Did we no. Okay. Well, that's
No.
You could see how I was hoping and imagining that it's.
Always. Why?
It wouldn't kill you. It wouldn't kill you just to think for a second. Just for a second to just.
It wouldn't kill you to stop thinking for just 1 second.
You don't know what I would think about you. You haven't been here, okay? And I'm just saying, like, you know, eventually after you're done with I know you have a career and you're working on your acting career, and I hear you. I'm understanding. I'm here with you in this moment. But eventually, there's going to be a certain point in time where you're going to want to settle down, and you're going to want to try to find somebody to settle down with. So. You tell me that there's a child. That's the first place I look. That's not a weird thing for a mother to assume. So the mother and father are with you. Okay.
She sort of ran away and stowed away with us.
And you're trying to find place to contact her mother and father?
Yes.
To let her let
we
them
want
know
to return her home.
Ianthe Barethnet.
What?
You're not telling me something. Clearly you're not. There's something I'm missing here. Fine. What do you need from me?
Wouldn't you stay here while we're gone? She needs somewhere safe. She came from a home that wasn't safe. And we're just trying to find somewhere where she can be a child and be happy. And it doesn't have to be here permanently, but this is the best place I can think of for her, for now. Until we can find something more permanent. Sort of a foster situation.
You see her, she gets very serious. Okay. I apologize. I feel like I'm understanding a little more here. It seems like it would be unsafe for her mother and father to know where she is. Is that what you're saying, dude?
Yes. Right now, yes.
Okay. Well, where is she? On cue, because Bix, you guys are kind of like, you guys spent some time, making a sandcastle. I would say, like, at a certain point, she's gonna go like, I miss the dog, and so we're gonna cut to this moment as you see Alyssa come out to. I imagine you had Danzig wait outside.
Me? Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't.
You literally can't fit in here.
I will give my mother a stroke if I throw all this.
There's way too many clothes here. Yeah. You see Alyssa kind of runs up to Danzig, throws her arms around Danzig, and kind of peeks in the doorway right at this point. Oh, hi.
Oh. Come in.
Okay.
Alyssa, this is my mother. I was just telling her about you and how smart and funny and sweet you are.
You see your mother
look at you. Look at Bixeldan, who must have probably. I assume you're kind of like in the doorway, like because you're not entirely sure where she was going, right?
I'm probably peeking in now.
Yeah. You see, cool. You see Sabella, your mother, look at you, look at Bixeldan, and then finally look down at Alyssa, and then bends down to kind of get to her height. Hi, dear. I'm Sabella. Nice to meet you. And you see her kind of extend a hand out to Alyssa, who looks back at Bixeldan. Bixeldan, do you make any motion?
Just like a mouth, go ahead.
Takes the hand, walks up. Hi, I'm Alyssa. And with that, we're gonna end tonight's session. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.